and sneered softly. Human greed, ignorance, and all kinds of extremes are really stupid. It really came true what Boss Han said just now. Desire is never satisfied. They are eager for quick success and instant benefits, looking for fleeting moments, chasing after empty illusions, and when they encounter a little frustration, they think of taking shortcuts. However, we always ignore the long-term value that requires time to settle and the spirit to be tempered. It's just a pity. A rare look of regret appeared on Boss Han's face. Are you still thinking about that little guy named Su Lin from last time? The little demon's graceful posture contained a hint of mischief. Sure enough, what you can't get is the best. Boss, you really can't forget him. Boss Han shook his head slightly and didn't say much. Intentionally changing the subject, he asked Xiao Yao to activate the soul mirror to check the latest customer information. In an instant, the halo on the big mirror was extremely strong, and countless lines of fate stretched out. Some were bright, some were dim, and they intertwined together to form a huge net that covered the entire mirror surface. There were all kinds of names and information of different identities, races, and worlds, densely packed and vast, like a flowing Milky Way, dotted on the boundless night sky, extremely shocking. And this is just the tip of the iceberg of the spiritual pawn shop. Chapter 158, Goodbye Xiao Hongzhuang, I Will Miss You. The moonlight was like silk, gently covering Su Lin's face, giving his face a layer of soft silver light. At midnight, as usual, I fell into the abyss of dreams again. However, this time, Su Lin felt something unusual. It seems that the boundary of the dream is a little blurry, as if it has weakened. The nightmare that was once like a cage, from which one could not escape, now showed signs of collapse. Especially the red-dressed female ghost in front of him. Her figure gradually became ethereal, like a phantom in the morning mist. The moment she saw Su Lin, she seemed to have triggered the fear deep in her heart, and her body began to tremble unconsciously. Once upon a time, this was the source of Su Lin's nightmare. But now, it has become a hell where the beautiful woman suffers the consequences of her own actions. The one who was suffering was no longer Su Lin, but the female ghost in red makeup herself. For countless nights, she suffered unspeakable torture in Su Lin's dreams, and the pain was like being cut into pieces by 1,000 knives. But at this moment, she looked at Su Lin and was suddenly stunned. You broke through to be level." The red-dressed woman's expression froze, but there was a hint of surprise in her tone. "Finally, I'm finally free." "Oh?" Su Lin became excited. "It seems to be because I was promoted to be level. Xiao Hongzhuang's fear induction skill is losing its effect. Look how happy the child is." Afterwards, Su Lin followed the same method and performed self-hypnosis again to deepen the injection of the seeds of fear. Unfortunately, no matter how much repairs and compensations are made, it is still impossible to stop the gradual collapse of the dream. It is estimated that in a few days, this sweet dream will say goodbye to Su Lin. Why not hurry up and make use of the opportunity? No, I should hurry up and hone my skills with Xiao Hongzhuang. What are you going to do?" The red made-up female ghost let out a shrill scream, her eyes full of fear. "Your skill level has already reached purple perfection. There is no point in asking me to do that kind of thing again. Besides, my consciousness is now on the verge of collapse and is no longer as substantial as before." "It doesn't matter," Su Lin smiled and said. "I just like that hazy feeling." Red-dressed woman. What? Another night of spring breeze is gone, and the clouds and rain in Wushan are in vain. They reveled and sang as often as they pleased, but they were willing to sacrifice themselves just to have fun. Early morning, Su Lin felt full of energy and refreshed. Not to mention, in the dream, Xiao Hongzhuang became illusory and vague. That feeling that seems real and unreal like a dream is really unforgettable. Afterwards, he spent some time with the three women. Su Lin came to the living room and looked at the 4 random rooms that had been refreshed. Random room number 1, Lava Cave. A cave deep underground in a dead volcano with 3 elite fire lava monsters, C+ and 40 D+ grade. Here you can get some rare ores. Random room number 2, Dangerous Scene. Lost Ancient City, guarding strength B level, psychic energy 25,800. Random room number 3, Special Scene, Mirror Phantom, a palace built of mirrors that can create phantoms close to your strength and skill levels. Here you can hone your combat skills. Random room number 4, Safe Scene, Candy Paradise, a fantasy world made up of all kinds of candies and desserts where you can enjoy the fun of the park and use the rides as food. There is nothing else to do. First, call a professional telegraph operator to clear Room 1 and get a lot of ore, which you can give to Ellie. The lost ancient city in Room 2 is a bit difficult. After all, Su Lin broke through to B, and his spiritual power was over 10,000. There are dozens of C-level and hundreds of D-level soldiers under the command of this garrison. The idea is difficult to grasp, so I'll skip it. The mirror battle in Room 3 is quite interesting. Su Lin went in to give it a try. The feeling of fighting against himself in close combat could help him master combat skills faster. It's a pity that the experience time is only 3 hours. Afterwards, Su Lin took the girls to have a good time in Room 4 Candy Paradise. A few more days passed. A sad news. Xiao Hongzhuang, I'm leaving, crying. That night, in the early hours of the morning, the dream world is about to collapse. The consciousness of the woman in red makeup has become as illusory as water vapor. Are you leaving? Su Lin said from the bottom of his heart, reluctantly. Oh. The figure of the woman in red makeup was looming, but the expression on her face was full of relief. Have you forgotten the bond between us? How could you bear to abandon me? Su Lin frowned with a look of heartache and couldn't help feeling a little sad. Roll. These were the last farewell words Hongzhuang said to Su Lin before she died. Really lacking in quality. Su Lin secretly complained. Looking at this dream space again, it is estimated that it will completely collapse in less than a minute. After so many days of enjoyment, cross out and torture, it's about to end. Even Su Lin was sighing. But just at this moment, he uttered a light exclamation. With a flash of his figure, he arrived at the place where the woman in red makeup disappeared. In mid-air, covered by thick black fog, was a strand of jet black hair. Name, the hair of the red-dressed woman. Type, special props. Rating, epic. Quality, purple inferior. Features, 1 sensing. Can be used as a medium to apply skills. 2 malice, possessing various negative emotions of a level horror and weirdness. Can trigger the pain deep in people's hearts and weave various terrifying scenes. This hair, it was in the random room of the Weird Wax Museum when the strange dressing mirror approached Su Lin. The true form of the red-dressed female ghost took the opportunity to act as a medium on Su Lin. No wonder she said before, I have remembered you, you can't run away, and so on. I really thought she could achieve the terrifying level of void detection. It turned out that there was a trap set for Su Lin a long time ago. But, having said that, the red-dressed female ghost can travel through countless time and space, through just a strand of hair, and affect Su Lin in the game world. This kind of ability is still quite outrageous. A level existence is truly terrifying. As Su Lin was sighing, his dream suddenly shattered. Like a mirror, it crackled and shattered into pieces. And Su Lin also opened his eyes. I looked at the time, but it was around 3 or 4 in the morning. The 3 girls were still sleeping soundly, but that strand of hair was still there, brought back to reality by Su Lin from the dream. Think of the village for a moment. Su Lin got up and walked to the courtyard. The little telegraph was lying in the little wooden house that Ellie had built for it, fast asleep. He slept in a very rude posture, with drool all over his body and his legs facing the air. By the way, since Xiao Hongzhuang has left, then this dream pendant I have on me seems to be useless. This is an accessory made from the excellent dream fish caught in the fisherman's dream random room. Its characteristic is to increase the chance of having nightmares. Then, with the attitude of helping others and doing good deeds without leaving a name, Su Lin quietly put the dream pendant on the small telegraph machine. Let it also experience the beauty that its owner has experienced. After a few minutes of observation, the dream falling effect was successfully triggered. The little telegraph machine's brows began to frown, its legs and feet began to twitch, and it kicked and kicked wildly, as if it was trying to escape from some great terror. Well, not bad. Su Lin suddenly felt satisfied. Then go to the control room and find the Red Queen. I want her to use scientific research technology to analyze whether there is a possibility. You can merge the hair of the red makeup girl with the parasite mother Lei Bei. One deepens fear and brings pain. One weaving beauty and bringing happiness. If the two are combined, the pseudo-organisms that are proliferated may really have no shortcomings. Become no different from ordinary people. Chapter 159. The Red Queen's concern, new players from South Korea appear. The Red Queen seemed extremely interested in the creation of this A-level horror. After careful testing, the Red Queen found that the characteristics of the strange hair had no effect on the mechanical AI, so she simply made a bold calculation. Data rushes across the device screen, with complex calculations and simulations switching seamlessly. Finally, conclusion is drawn. The first thing to consider is compatibility. The second is balance. Simply put, the difficulty has increased again. It is equivalent to fusing two uncontrollable nuclear fusion reactors together. Any small mistake may lead to irreversible catastrophic consequences. The requirements for containers jump to a higher level of difficulty. Not only does it need to perfectly accommodate the diametrically opposite characteristics of both parties, it must also have a high level of control capabilities and must maintain absolute stability. Even in the most drastic changes, there must be no looseness of any kind. At this time, the Red Queen cast her eyes towards Su Lintu. How to describe it? It's like looking at an extremely fanatical lunatic who is courting death. That gaze was like a mattock, penetrating deep into Su Lin's most paranoid madness. Master, I must remind you, the Red Queen's eyes were as deep as a silent lake, and her tone was serious. It is undeniable that human beings' desire and exploration of the unknown is the key to driving you towards glory. This is great. However, blindly and persistently pursuing answers that are as illusory as bubbles and disappear like flowers in the mirror and moon in the water will often only lead you to lose yourself in an endless abyss, paying the price, perhaps even everything in your life. Having witnessed the demise of the Spark civilization, the Red Queen has a deep understanding of human desires. There was sadness in her eyes, and she didn't want Su Lin to go down the irreversible path and repeat the same mistakes. To this, although Su Lin was eager to think, he also had a clear idea in his mind. He won't act rashly until he is absolutely sure. Think for a moment. Su Lin stared at the strange strand of hair in his hand. Just confront the Red Queen. It tells you how you encounter a red-dressed female demon, how you are affected by her fear induction skill, and how you use various skills to overcome it. The Red Queen, who knew everything, was not surprised by Su Lin's bold move. Instead, he praised Su Lin's wit in turning danger into safety. For an intelligent AI like her, all external emotions are simulated through settings. A working machine that is absolutely rational and has no human desires. No matter what the process is, the most perfect result is to get the greatest benefit. Immediately following, Su Lin demonstrated his fear-inducing skills to the Red Queen. For example, the extreme memory sword dance, light magic, and flower language buff. There is also a skill gained after performing a ritual with the red makeup female ghost, the Fearless Heart. Skills, not items. Cannot scan directly. He could only use the stupid method. Su Lin slowed down his movements while explaining the techniques of using the spiritual power in his body. Of course, there is also the special item Sage Clock. It also played a role in the fight against the red-dressed female ghost. In addition, there is still some spirit-releasing crystal dust left at home. These are indeed inspiring to the Red Queen. But a good cook cannot cook without rice. This is just a possibility. No matter how good the theoretical speculation is, without practice, it is ultimately just empty talk. For a vessel that could perfectly carry both powers, the Red Queen gave a new requirement. It's best to be biological, because whether it is the mother Rebecca or the strange hair of the red-made woman, they are all related to human emotions. Objects made of pure metal or other materials cannot perfectly present this property. But the difficulty lies in the fact that the emotions and feelings of this creature must be able to change at any time. It is a qualified container that can carry the characteristics of the mother body, Lei Bei and Gifa, and allow Su Lin to use it at will. However, every person and every creature in this world is unique, just like there are never two snowflakes in the world that are exactly the same. It is not an exaggeration to describe it as looking for a needle in a haystack. Su Lin had no choice but to put this matter aside for the time being. The night gradually faded. A faint light began to appear in the eastern sky of Hongfeng Yuan Villa. This is a unique scene in the gaming world. Although there is no sun, the system will provide a sunlight-like glow during the daytime at home. After bidding farewell to the Red Queen, Su Lin passed by the courtyard. I saw the sleeping little telegraph machine with its claws clenched and its hind legs kicking, looking panic-stricken in a nightmare. Su Lin, whose prank was successful, showed a smug smile. Since you, my little telegraph machine, always speak without restraint, I'll teach you a lesson. Then, Su Lin, who was kind-hearted, couldn't bear to see the poor little thing suffer any longer. I simply put the dream pendant into the storage bracelet. Not long after, the Thunder Beast's expression relaxed, as if it had escaped from a nightmare, and it opened its eyes drowsily. Why are you here? The Thunder Beast was still a little dazed, with a frightened expression. Su Lin said a few perfunctorily, then looked at the other party's startled expression and pretended to be concerned and asked if the other party had a nightmare. Is it because you've been under too much pressure recently? How about letting you have a good rest for a few days? Anyway, the fusion of the Spirit Beast Mirror Breaking Pill and the Blood Essence Pill will probably make progress soon. You can take this opportunity to consolidate your realm and prepare yourself during this time. Hearing this, the Thunder Beast was stunned at first, but then seeing Su Lin's gentle and caring look, he couldn't help feeling flattered. Thunder Beast relaxed a little, muttering softly, "You're a pretty nice person. Look, it has me to thank." Su Lin raised the corner of his mouth and found it interesting. He even secretly made up his mind that from now on, he would use the dream pendant to attack the Thunder Beast every night after it fell asleep. Compared to Su Lin's current peace and stability, there are also many dark horse players from other countries who are making rapid progress. For example, the American redneck Hulk Hogan. This is a talented player who showed off his talent from the start. First, he took the Thorn Demon Sarona as his partner. Later, in the random room 10,000 poisons gnawing at the heart, he withstood the destruction of tens of thousands of poisons and turned a disaster into a blessing, gaining a physique that is immune to all poisons. He also comprehended the magic of poison element through this. It merges with the Thorn monster body, rewarded by marriage, to form a Thorn poison body. The strength level breaks through sea level. There is also the Sakura country player Makoto Yashino, who has sucked his first goblin partner to death. The new companion, the male succubus Zyro AI, initially has sea-level strength. Then, with the help of 10 C-grade Lingyuan pills as a reward for a successful marriage, the male succubus Zyro AI was successfully promoted to C-grade. Even with the greedy skill, it's still hard to deal with a professional master who is born to do this. It's like showing off your sword in front of Guan Gong, overestimating your own abilities. Yashino Makoto finally experienced the feeling of being squeezed to the extreme. None of the 10 Lingyuan pills reached his mouth, although through the exchanges with Zyro AI, Yashino Makoto also broke through to sea level. But in the final analysis, that was just Zyro AI's deliberate targeting. After all, a C-grade furnace is much more effective to use than a D+ grade 1. Besides, there is also Singh, a player from India whose partner is an alien cockroach monster. Born into the Sikh community, he has a character as strong as that of a lion. Even though there are many eccentrics in India, it has a large population base, so there will always be some talented players who stand out. During this period, Singh teamed up with the alien cockroach monster to play a lot of random rooms. Although his current strength level has only been raised to D+, it is undeniable that he is indeed a potential stock and is regarded by the people of India as the hope for the rise of India. There is also Natasha from the Northern Ice Country and her partner Ali from the Snow Ape tribe. With the help of Ice Scale armor and Frost Spear, he successfully killed those fire wolves yesterday and obtained 2 3-star spiritual plants. Currently, we are trying to refine it, and the success rate of breaking through the sea level is very high. Likewise, there is old friend Albert. I have recently teamed up with Gaba and have gained a lot. Not long ago, they both broke through to the sea level and are now able to refine third-order, sea-level talismans. And today, a new player from South Korea is chosen by the matchmaking game again. Chapter 160, Awakening Pioneer Kui Jingya, a strange humanoid companion. In fact, it was long before the first Korean player Park Kwon Tao. There were also 2 male players who were selected to play the game, but they were all noob players who were killed as soon as they landed on the ground. The second Korean player was completely frightened when he saw Park Kwon Tao being brutally killed by the mantis girl in the marriage room. Start to play badly, he lived frugally and relied on the bread and mineral water provided by the system to get through the novice period. Then the punishment for players who perform poorly is naturally to be sanctioned by Red Flame. As a result, South Korea, like the bad players in other countries, has been punished by the system's weakening attributes. Right now, National Physical Fitness 1, Korean National Spirit 1, a weak state for 1 month. As for the third player from South Korea, when I was selected into the game, the system rules were being rectified. You must marry a partner and open a random room within 1 day. This person is stingy and always worried about gains and losses. After entering the game, I have been mentally exhausted. A lot of time wasted in vain. There was only 1 hour left in the novice period before I finally gritted my teeth and entered a random room. Unfortunately, he was torn into pieces and eaten by a catfish monster with limbs. The targeted punishment brought to South Korea is that this catfish monster has descended on the Han River, the mother river of South Korea. This crisis was called the Han River Hostility Incident by South Korea. In addition, the excessive amount of Wei-ji in the Han River water makes these catfish monsters particularly excited. It has caused a lot of trouble to the Korean country. And now, the fourth player from South Korea is a woman. Her name is Kyu Jingya, wearing an elegant white OL suit with a neat white shirt, wearing trousers of the same color, with long legs and close-fitting cut, and wearing pointed high heels. She is a typical modern urban woman. She has fair skin, delicate features, dyed yellow hair, and a shawl hanging down her shoulders. Both her figure and appearance are very attractive. However, the moment the Korean male public saw her, their emotions were extremely agitated. It's her Choi Kyung-ah, a senior member of Megalia. Damn it, why did you pick such a stupid watch? The future of my great cold nation will die at the hands of this big sauce woman. Megalia is an extreme female boxing organization native to South Korea. The name is formed by combining the first letter M of the MERS virus with the title of the feminist novel, Egalia's Daughters. The logo used by the organization is extremely provocative to the dignity of Korean men. It is an index finger and thumb measured together, which means very small. Previously, due to the Park Kwon-2 incident, the system's targeted punishment caused Korean men's things to decline in size, length, and kidney function. It also refers to the characteristics of the mantis race, which causes Korean women to hate and dislike Korean men. This confrontation has deepened and has now reached the point where they are irreconcilable. As for the labels attached to Choi Kyung-ah in the barrage, such as kimchi watch and soybean paste girl, they are all new terms that emerged after the expansion of women's boxing. Kimchi watch, women who are materialistic, vain, and complaining. Dajeong women, women who save on basic necessities to pursue luxury brands. Kyu Jingya has both of these points. In addition, there are mom bugs, full-time mothers after giving birth, flower snakes, blood-sucking women who suck all the money of men, fish farm management, the Korean version of central air conditioning, which means the owner of the fish pond, and so on. As for Choi Kyung-yu herself, she came from a poor family and once thought about studying hard through her own efforts, entering a chaebol company in the future and getting a good job. However, in South Korea's hellish college entrance examination model, there is a saying that 4 pass and 5 fail. This means that a student who only sleeps 4 hours a day can pass the exam, while a student who sleeps 5 hours may fail. How easy is it to break out of the siege with so many soldiers and horses? She began to give up on herself and blame others. Later, due to emotional setbacks and failure in the college entrance examination, she was forced to drop out of school, which made her completely hate men. Blame all the injustices you encounter on men. It was only natural for him to join the Megalia organization. By publishing short essays frequently, he has accumulated a lot of female fans on social media. At the same time, Choi Kyung-yu is also a woman addicted to material things. But they are unwilling to put in the effort and can only try to be clever. After joining some small and medium-sized enterprises, they exploit loopholes and frequently get into trouble. He also mobilized his fans to lead the trend on the internet. Received a lot of compensation. He also thoughtfully wrote a guide for the girls. Afterwards, many Korean women followed suit and actually made a lot of money without any effort. But the result of this is that local Korean companies are beginning to be unwilling to hire female employees. This counterattack naturally caused the Korean women to awaken, and they began to demonstrate and protest. It's just a mess. Korean live broadcast room. At this time, there was a big quarrel. The remarks made by the Korean man just now successfully angered the Korean woman. They used all kinds of vicious words to ridicule and curse the Korean people. He also gave examples of the poor performances of the first 3 Korean male players. It's all because of the useless men that the great Hanaming kingdom has become so bad. Moreover, at the end of each sentence, there is a little bit gesture expression with the index finger and thumb measuring. Every strike of the sword was a critical hit, making countless Korean men furious. The verbal battle was extremely fierce. Some people from other countries were confused when they first came to the Korean live broadcast room, especially the people in the country of Aomi. the birthplace of feminist boxing, were shocked by this scene. What is going on? Is it necessary to be so exaggerated? The disciple is better than the master. Just as the two sides were arguing and the confrontation was escalating, it was becoming more and more intense. Kui Jingya has already opened the wedding room. As expected of Sister Jingya, she chose the right path from the beginning. This is many times better than those useless, hot sauce men, /Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, JPG. Don't mention those useless little sticks. I feel annoyed when I see them. They are a bunch of useless people who need a magnifying glass to pee. They are so pitiful they are not so cute even though they are small, JPG. You bunch of live bugs. A term used to hate Korean girls. Stop polluting the environment. Don't forget that your fathers are also men. Yeah, so I like my useless father. It would be better if he died earlier. I think it's an insult to have his genes in me, /cleaner. The scene in the bridal chamber was a bit strange. It is not a special environment, such as desert, lake, jungle, etc. The weird thing is, it's so normal. It is a house style similar to that of ancient times, and its appearance is full of ancient charm. It is surrounded by red brick walls with moss on top, which shows that it has a long history. The heavy door is carved with exquisite patterns and groups. The roof is paved with black glazed tiles, with upturned eaves and a beautiful shape. The windows are decorated with exquisite wooden carved lattices. As soon as Kui Jingya appeared, she immediately received a system prompt. You have entered the marriage room and can choose to be a partner with the humanoids. Chapter 161. The perfect mirror image carrier, Gaba enters metamorphosis and emerges from the cocoon. This time, the system prompt was very brief. Only the other person's race is mentioned, without specifying the other person's gender or name. Is there a bug in the system? Or is it intentional neglect? Humanoids. When the Korean men saw this race, they were stunned at first, but then they seemed to find confidence and fun and began to gloat over their misfortune. It is estimated that the partner of this kimchi watch is a species similar to monkeys and gorillas. When I thought about Kui Jingya from the women's boxing organization being destroyed by the other side, I felt a kind of pleasure of revenge. The Yan people who came to watch were speechless when they saw the infighting in the Korean live broadcast room. It's such a late hour, and we're still creating opposition between men and women. If Kui Jingya encounters an accident, the system will impose targeted punishments, and the unlucky ones will still be you, the Korean people. I really can't tell priorities at all. Immediately following, witnessed by tens of millions of Korean people. Bridal chamber, ancient-style mansion. The door opened and a man walked out slowly. It is dressed in a silver-white robe with cloud and dragon patterns on it, which is very detailed. She wore a belt around her waist with a jade pendant hanging on it. The thick black hair was elegantly tied with a black silk braided hair crown. He has a handsome face, and his eyebrows are stretched out like a bow and a moon. He waved a folding fan and stood with a smile on his face, like a handsome young man walking out of a painting. The moment she saw the other person, Kui Jingya was also stunned by his elegant demeanor. If you would like to teach me, I will be honored to be here. The humanoid nodded slightly and smiled faintly. His voice was gentle, and his behavior seemed to be carefully choreographed, very precise and correct. I have to say that both the other person's appearance and polite attitude are very attractive. However, the problem is that Choi Kyung-ah is an extreme female boxer. Her hatred for men is not limited to South Korea. She has a heartfelt hatred for all men. Think of the village for a moment. In the following communication with the humanoids, Kui Jingya spoke tactfully, implicitly rejecting the other party's request to become a partner. At the same time, I was also scared inside, afraid of angering the other person. This action naturally caused Korean men to criticize Choi Kyung-ah. Shit, she's absolutely crazy. It's rare to meet such a good partner, but she's still picky. People who are not blessed cannot grasp the blessings that God sends them. It's a pity that the Blue House has issued an order strictly prohibiting people from leaving. Otherwise, I really want to leave this damn country. Why are there so many idiots? Haha, the so-called law only restricts common people like us. As for the tycoons and officials, they can do whatever they want. We are born unable to escape this kind of class oppression. Bah, useless bastards, you only know how to say discouraging things all day long. Men from any country are much more responsible than you. In the picture, when the humanoids heard Kui Jingya's words, instead of getting angry, they chuckled. I see. There was a strange fluctuation in its deep eyes. Since you don't like men, then women are always okay, right? After saying that, it flapped its folding fan, and an inexplicable wave surged. Under Kui Jingya's shocked gaze. In the blink of an eye, the other party transformed into a woman in black OL clothes. Delicate facial features, fair skin and light makeup make it look more charming. Whether it is appearance, figure, or clothing, it seems that they were all based on Choi Kyung-ah's own characteristics, and are 70% similar to Choi Kyung-ah. This scene completely shocked everyone. "Do you like it?" The humanoid groaned and spoke. The look he gave Kui Jingya with his deep eyes was like that of a prey he was determined to catch. "Since we are all women, there is no burden in our hearts." Kui Jingya was also very satisfied with this. Then the live broadcast channel screen went black. The two sides held a wedding ceremony smoothly. When the golden wind and jade do meet, it is better than countless things in the world. Congratulations to Korean player Choi Kyung-ya and the humanoids for successfully completing the marriage ceremony. You have received the following rewards. Talent, Mirror Image Carrier, D+, perfectly carries the power of mirror images. After successful fusion, the strength will be improved. Skill, like attracts like green. The compatibility with likes is seamless and integrated. Spiritual Yuan Dan D+ X10, Charm +10. The live broadcast screen then returned to normal. Immediately following, Kui Jingya sets the threshold for the civilized marriage reward. There was no surprise at all. The rewards are only given to Korean women, and there is no benefit at all for Korean men. Setting successful. Because the Korean player Kui Jingya got married, the whole world celebrates, and now we are issuing marriage rewards to the Korean civilization. Korean citizens gain Health +6, Intelligence +2, Spirit +3, Charm +1. Those who do not meet the threshold set by the player Kui Jingya will not be rewarded. All positive terms. The Korean women were naturally cheering. The men, on the other hand, hated Choi Kyung-ya with gnashing teeth. There is no need to say much about these minor details. Kui Jingya and her humanoid companions returned to their original homeland and got along harmoniously along the way. She also found out about this. Humanoids have no gender. In fact, there is not even a name. What a strange race. How about I give you a name? Kui Jingya suddenly became interested. The humanoid who was observing everything around him was stunned for a moment, then nodded with a smile. Okay. Kui Jingya thought for a while and came up with an idea. Orb. How is Kui Beaju? My Choi Kyung-ah's precious pearl. To this, the humanoids had no objection. My name is just a name to me. You can call me anything you like. Hearing this, Kui Jingya laughed happily, and a sense of satisfaction surged in her heart. The humanoid companion also laughed along with Kui Jingya. Like a mirror, the demeanor, micro-expressions, curvature of the smile, and the smile at the corners of the eyes are already 90% similar to Choi Kyung-ya. Time, like a river, keeps flowing forward and never returns. The flow direction is unpredictable, sometimes fast and sometimes slow, and it cannot be stopped or reversed. In a blink of an eye, 3 days passed. This day, Su Lin received a private message from Albert. Tell Su Lin the good news that he has broken through to sea level. As for GABA, although the attribute panel shows that it has reached sea level, but the situation is somewhat special. When GABA reached sea level, the slime insect tribe's metamorphosis talent took effect, and he actually entered the state of breaking the cocoon and emerging from the shell. It formed a large cocoon and fell into a deep sleep. This time, Albert came to Su Lin to seek help. He hopes to use some of the third-level talismans in his hand to exchange for Su Lin's Seed of Life. This pure energy plays a vital role in GABA's transformation. Chapter 162, Biological Research Institute. Exotic Beast Energy Converter. Albert didn't have many third-level talismans in his hand, only 2. But that's not a problem. After all, the other party is a craftsman. Su Lin gave him some sea-level monster skins and monster blood essence, and it wouldn't take long for him to make a third-level talisman. The deal was reached between the two parties. Su Lin first accepted 2 third-level talismans as a deposit. The balance will be delivered after Albert succeeds in refining it. Who are you cheating on me with again? At this time, Mirabelle's voice sounded from behind Su Lin. When he turned around, he saw the other person with a smile on her pretty face, staring at Su Lin mischievously. It's Albert. For fear of becoming jealous again, Su Lin briefly explained the whole story. I remember that there was a 4-star mission Isaac's world in trouble. Between you and him, right? Mirabelle recalled. This is a multiplayer mission for 5 players. The prerequisite for starting the mission is that one of Su Lin and Albert must reach B level in strength. At present, Su Lin just meets this requirement. No hurry. Su Lin has not yet started the idea of Isaac's troubled times. Ever since the last parasite invasion of his home, his style of doing things has become more cautious. Even before returning home from a random room, I have to check the situation carefully. Isaac's Rebellion is a 4-star epic quest. The boss is Isager, Left Guardian, and his strength level is B. The psychic energy value is between 40,000 and 60,000. This is just a Dharma protector. If we extrapolate from this, wouldn't the leader of the Isa religion be in a level terror? After the younger one is beaten, the older one comes. Who would have thought that a C-level 2-person dungeon room like Ghost in the Ancient House could lead to a B-level epic? Without complete preparation, Su Lin would never act rashly. Our baby will be born soon, right? Su Lin hugged Mirabelle, leaned close to her ear, sniffed her body fragrance, and spoke softly. About a week, maybe. Since her strength was raised to C+ level, Mirabelle's original body, the fairy flower, has received a lot of energy in return. In fact, the birth of offspring can be advanced by a few days. But Mirabelle felt that keeping the baby in the flower nest for a longer period of time would be beneficial to the growth of the fetus. So I intentionally slowed down the pace. How about I give you some more energy? There was a burning sensation before my eyes. Oh, don't advertise silver in broad daylight. Didn't I just finish making up this morning? You little pervert, go and do your business first. All the random rooms have been refreshed. Random room number 1, safe scene. Gold vein, high purity gold vein. Random room number 2, dangerous scene. The Lost Soul Forest. Located in a dark corner of a certain world, it is infected by an ominous and strange force that can devour the soul power of any creature. Hint, when you enter this random room, you will be instantly locked by hundreds of thousands of lost soul trees in the entire forest. With your current strength, you can only resist for 1 minute at most. Random room number 3, Biological Research Institute. Located in a certain spiritual energy revival world, it is a frontier base for scientists from a certain country to study exotic beasts. They focus on digging out the powerful, mysterious genes of the exotic beasts, hoping to merge them with human genes in this way. But they failed. Hint 1, this random room has 2 C+ grade artificial orcs, 7 C grade orcs and alien beasts, 32 C grade alien beasts, and 76 D grade alien beasts. Hint 2, inside the Biological Research Institute, there is an exotic beast energy converter. Quality, rare grade blue superior that can convert biological energy into reusable energy. Random room number 4, dangerous scene. Static electricity swamp. This area is filled with static electricity peat, which is rich in nourishing thunder elements. Tip 1, static peat, is of great help to the advancement of lightning-struck wood. Hint 2, there is a B-level, Cyclops, psychic value 10,188, in this area, whose one eye can emit lightning rays. Hint 3, this area is full of lightning monsters, with strength levels around C and D. By elimination method, eliminate Room 2, Lost Forest first. Room 1, Gold Vein, does not present any difficulty. If it were on Earth, the high-purity gold veins would be enough to drive countless people crazy. But in the marriage world, gold has lost its monetary value and is just an ordinary ore. Fortunately, it can be converted into cards for storage, so Su Lin decided to collect the gold mine by the way. After all, gold can also be used to conduct electricity. The exotic beast energy converter, in Room 3 Biological Research Institute. I originally wanted to go out and solo it, but Jianwu took the initiative to volunteer to follow Su Lin. Recently, Jianwu has been asked by Ellie to help forge various props, equipment, and facilities in the home. It has been a long time since I went on an adventure with Su Lin, and I have been missing it. As for the Thunder Beast, the little telegraph machine has been having nightmares these days and is not in a good mental state. Actually, it was Su Lin who did this using the Dream Chaser pendant. Besides, Su Lin had promised it that it would rest and consolidate its realm, so he gave it a few days off. Team up with Jianwu and enter Room 3, Biological Research Institute. Based on the periphery, from the outside, this research institute is not a cold, silver-white building in the traditional sense, but a unique building in the world of spiritual energy revival. It is like an ancient ruin, with dust swallowing up its former glory. The sky was filled with gray clouds, and there was a barren land all around. The remains of strange beasts and dilapidated facilities can be seen everywhere, silently telling the tragedy of the past. Roar! As soon as the two appeared, the strange beasts roaming nearby sensed the breath of flesh and blood creatures and rushed towards them frantically. But they were just D-level monsters, and Jianwu solved them by himself like chopping melons and vegetables. Then Su Lin used the flower language technique to transform it into a seed of life. Then enter the Research Institute. The spider web-covered corridors, scattered research reports and unfinished experiments, as well as the remains of slaughtered technicians, silently tell of the horror that had occurred. It was also at this moment that sea-level and sea-level beasts began to appear. They have different shapes and all contain rich spiritual power. We even saw a few artificial orcs whose genes had failed to be fused with those of alien beasts. He is strong and half human and half beast. There are orcs who resemble the centaurs in mythology after the failed genetic fusion with horse-like beasts. There are also minotaurs with bull heads and kobolds with human bodies but dog heads. Without exception, the products of these failed biological transformations have all lost their sanity, leaving only the madness of killing. Su Lin was watching from the side, intentionally practicing his sword dance to improve his combat experience. During the battle, he also explained to Jianwu the usage techniques of the skill Extreme Memory Sword Dance. Even so, this skill was learned by Su Lin from Jianwu. But with Xiao Hongzhuang's enthusiastic help, Su Lin's Extreme Memory Sword Dance has reached Purple Quality Level 9. But it is much stronger than Sword Dance. As for the last two C+ level artificial orcs, Jianwu was somewhat unable to deal with them. He was easily killed instantly with a casual attack from Su Lin. All of them turned into seeds of life and were stored in the bag. Take some out and give it to Albert. The remaining C-grade quality life seeds can be given to Sophia to refine blood essence pills, or used to cultivate spiritual plants. It has many wonderful uses. Later, Su Lin also found the device in the experimental area of the Research Institute. Surprisingly, this device is not a single machine facility. Instead, it is a mechanical cell that is integrated with the exotic beast experimental area, has a large area, and is well equipped. Name, Alien Beast Energy Converter. Type, Facility. Rating, Rare. Quality, Blue Superior. Features, 1 prison, can be used to detain captured alien beasts. The cell is equipped with a cutting-edge security system to prevent the alien beasts from escaping, and a high-intensity energy field is used to suppress the alien beasts. 2 Alien Energy Collector, Energy Storage and Control Unit, which can collect energy from alien bodies and convert it into energy. 3 R&D Experiments, including a series of laboratories equipped with advanced experimental equipment, which can efficiently conduct cell research, gene sequencing, and functional investigation. Chapter 163, Static Swamp, B-Class Cyclops. Fortunately, this facility can be transformed into card storage. Otherwise, it would take a lot of effort for Su Lin to move it away. After returning home, Su Lin first found the Red Queen and gave her the card of Alien Beast Energy Converter for scanning. The Red Queen is intrigued by the system's ability to transform facility buildings into cards. Moreover, even if it turns into a card, it will not affect the analysis of the Red Queen. Based on the R&D test, function of the exotic beast energy converter, a lot of biological research data from this spiritual revival world was obtained. Then the Red Queen gave advice. It is best to place the alien beast energy converter near the magnetic and electric barrier, as the two complement each other. As for the problem of energy supply, we have to use lightning-struck wood. Don't bother. Su Lin waved his hand. Doesn't it also have a prison function? Master, do you want to capture some monsters from the game world, imprison them, and use them as energy supply? The Red Queen suddenly realized, oh, imprisonment is such a bad word. This is called generating electricity for love. Su Lin chuckled. Master, do you want to continue exploring the random rooms? At this time, the sword dance still felt unsatisfied. Like the Red Queen, she addressed Su Lin as Master. Only, compared to the Red Queen, which is a pure machine AI, sword dance has more human touch. This is also what the Red Queen has always wanted. Nature. Su Lin nodded. Room 4 Static Swamp is dangerous and has a B-level boss. But fortunately, the psychic energy value is not high, just over 10,000. Su Lin's spiritual power is stronger than the opponent's, about 11,000. Immediately following, under the gaze of hundreds of millions of viewers in Yan country, Su Lin has brought Jianwu to random room number 4, the static electricity swamp. In this area, the fluctuations of thunder elements are extremely strong. When light travels through the air, it seems to emit a blue glow. The area is a swamp. Unlike the misty swamps I explored before, the ground here was made entirely of black peat. When you step on it, you will feel a soft sensation, and from time to time there will be electric arcs floating and crackling sounds. Name: electrostatic peat. Type: material. Rating: E+. Quality: white superior. Features: 1 electric energy storage, 2 energy replenishment, 3 nourishing lightning attribute spiritual plants. Tip: nourishing thunder attribute spiritual plants is linked to the quality of static peat rating. E-level static peat can only cultivate E-level spiritual plants, and those can only be of thunder attribute. If it were any other spiritual plant, this would not be precious spiritual soil, but a disaster. If you want to upgrade the grade of lightning-struck wood, you must find higher quality static peat. Therefore, we had to move deeper into the static swamp. In other words, there is a high probability that Su Lin will have to face the B-level boss Cyclops. On the way, we encountered many monsters that were unique to this area. For example, D-level static snail, lightning dragonfly, and electric beetle. These monsters sensed the aura emanating from Su Lin and turned around and ran away in fear. To them, the B-level breath fluctuations are like the terrifying breath of a dragon. They would not dare to make any attacking move at all. Even if they were unlucky enough to encounter one, they would be so scared that they would crawl on the ground and tremble. This is the instinctive fear that comes from the soul when the inferior meets the superior. Although it looks spineless, but their IQ is much higher than those irrational beasts in the Biological Research Institute. Before entering the static electricity swamp, Su Lin took the alien beast energy converter in his hand in advance. His purpose was to put any monster he encountered into the cell, so that he wouldn't have to go back and forth as a porter. Even though it is in card form, some of the facility's functions can still be used. It just can't show its full effectiveness. The monsters collected in the cards will be detained in the cell, according to Su Lin's wishes. Just like collecting stamps, Su Lin had a strange feeling of collecting Pokémon. The thought of these free monsters becoming workers and being exploited by the black-hearted factory manager Su Lin in the future is heartbreaking. I don't know why. Su Lin unexpectedly felt a sense of guilt. They really look like some capitalists on Earth. Being able to follow their master is a blessing they have earned through several lifetimes. Being able to contribute to their masters, even if it means sacrificing their lives, is the greatest honor in their lives. They should be grateful, so why would they bear grudges? Jianwu suddenly spoke. Su Lin turned around in surprise, stared at her for a few seconds, and found that she looked very serious and didn't seem to be making any sarcastic remarks at all. Instead, there was an air of sharing the honor. Su Lin said with emotion, "Jianwu, you are really my sweet and caring little cotton-padded jacket." This awareness is really high. Jianwu was very happy to receive Su Lin's praise. It is Jianwu's greatest honor to serve the master. Looking at the master and servant singing the same tune, the millions of viewers in Yan Country's live broadcast room had strange looks on their faces. Kneeling with tears, Yamlu tilde Godsu, please don't follow the old path of the capitalists crying punch the earth to pieces. JPG. It's time to let the monsters from other worlds feel the fear of being dominated by human capitalists. Capitalists shouldn't be that excessive. After all, capitalists at least know that if you want a horse to run, you have to feed it grass first. They are all monsters anyway. If used properly, it won't be a big deal. At least following Su Shen, I can be considered as blending into the body spider. Head funny. Why bother so much? Just be grateful. In the picture, as Su Lin gradually moved forward, most of the monsters he encountered were sea level, such as Thunder Lizard, Static Python, Thunderbird, and so on. Grades range from C to C+. If it were other players, any one of these monsters would be a terrifying threat that could bring life and death. But for Su Lin, he just waved his hand, and all of them were collected into the prison of the Alien Beast Energy Converter card. There is absolutely no power to resist. The gap between Class B and Class C is like a chasm. Don't underestimate the difference between C+ and B. There is only a 1,000 psychic energy difference. The difference is like that between 9,000 kilograms of cotton and 10,000 kilograms of steel. It's not about the weight, but the quality. What's more, Su Lin's current skills have all been upgraded to purple level 9. It would be too cheap to fight several rounds to deal with a C-level monster. As if strolling in the garden, you can easily collect many sea-level thunder element monsters. The closer you get to the center of the static electricity swamp, the higher the quality of the static electricity peat you encounter along the way. Materials such as static peat can also be turned into card storage, but there is a prerequisite. You must first clear the nearby monsters, and then convert them into cards according to the specific area. Su Lin has always been a frugal person. It is not an exaggeration to describe it as plucking feathers from a passing goose. Naturally, they would not let go of the rare C-grade static peat, and even collected a lot of D-grade fine materials. Come to the central area of static swamp. One can clearly feel that the aura of thunder element released here is more intense. The quality is B-epic static peat, covering a large area, forming a huge swamp with violent thunder element energy surging. Stand back. At this time, Su Lin urged Jianwu to get away from here first, because he has sensed that the Cyclops is waking up. Chapter 164, I am invincible in the same realm. It is difficult for C-class to intervene in the battle between B-class. It's just like in a MOBA game. A late-stage expert who has already fully equipped with 6 equipment meets a newbie who has just released the crystal and has not had time to develop. A casual blow can easily end your life. Jianwu naturally knew the importance of this and did not say anything pretentious like, I want to accompany my master, which would raise one's blood pressure. He obediently followed Su Lin's orders and quickly retreated to the rear to keep some distance. Boom tilde tilde. There was a roar from the earth. The sleeping Cyclops sensed Su Lin's aura and was filled with shock and anger, as if the entire space was shaking. The revealed tall body occupies most of the field of vision, like a small mountain. His upper body was naked, and his lower body was only wearing a pair of crudely stitched animal skin shorts. That single eye occupies more than half of the entire head. While his eyes were fixed on Su Lin, a faint light flashed, instantly releases powerful lightning rays, as fast as lasers. The first move is a killing move. He planned to destroy Su Lin's fighting power as soon as possible and kill him. However, the Cyclops' attack was fierce, violent, and fast. Su Lin's reaction speed is even faster. After the strength level reaches B level, the 3 talents, the gift of the flower fairy, the speed talent chasing the wind, and the affinity of light magic also reach B level. Avoid the Cyclops' ray attack at an incredible angle. At this moment, his figure was like a phantom. Next, quickly take out the electromagnetic knife. The moment it was raised high, it shone like a shooting star in the night sky. The knife flashed a bright light in the air and slashed forward with lightning speed. The sword energy possesses the violent properties of thunder and lightning, shattering the surface of the earth, rushing like a violent storm. The sound of breaking through the air resounded through the sky like thunder. The sound was so loud that the ears of the people watching the live broadcast were buzzing. The wave slash landed accurately on the Cyclops, leaving deep wounds and blood gushing out like a waterfall. However, after just a few seconds, the bleeding stopped. The surrounding lightning elements flowed into the Cyclops' body like river water, and like a whirlpool, absorbing, flowing, and repairing the injuries on the surface of the body. Cyclops' skill, lightning element transformation, purple LV6. It stared at Su Lin and roared angrily. That huge single eye frequently emitted lightning rays, like a machine gun firing endlessly. The firing rate is quite fast. Su Lin spread his wings with light patterns, flew high into the sky, flipped and moved, dodging every ray of lightning with amazing speed and agility. A B-level warrior, with spiritual energy condensed like pulp in his body, can already make perfect use of his own skills. Without wasting any extra energy, you can fully exert the maximum power of your skills. So did the Cyclops. This is even more true for Su Lin. What's more, the Cyclops is good at lightning, and the static swamp is its home ground. Dealing with it is not as easy as imagined. The electromagnetic knife cannot be used against the Cyclops, although it can also cause some injuries to it. But on the other hand, the lightning element that attacked was also repairing the Cyclops' wounds in disguise. While dealing damage, it is also healing it. In an instant, Su Lin put the electromagnetic knife into the storage bracelet. He quickly took out a standard long sword of rare C-grade quality. This sword is called King Feng Sword. It's not something you get from a random room. It was a weapon that Ellie had made a few days ago, using rare mineral materials she had obtained. Give it to Su Lin for backup. Although it does not have any elemental properties, it is sharp and tough enough. Now it comes in handy. Immediately following, light magic activated. Skill, Sword of Light, purple LV9. It merges into one with the King Feng's sword in his hand, and is in a state of combining the real and the virtual, and complementing each other. It is closely connected with Su Lin's spiritual power, as if it has become a part of his body. Since it's the same magic of thunder element, I can't break your trick. Then use the light system instead. This is the benefit of having enough talent. It can be restrained according to different environments, different enemies, and different attributes. This time, the wave slash performed by the light element successfully caused considerable damage to the Cyclops. Then quickly add buff skills to yourself. Blessing of Light, Shield of Light, and Flower Language. They also used restraint shackles to control the Cyclops. Flower Language technique. Mobilize surrounding vegetation to entangle, bind, and attack it. As one side gained strength while the other lost strength, Su Lin gradually mastered the rhythm of the battle and gained the upper hand. The scenes of this battle shocked hundreds of millions of viewers. The two sides fought back and forth, and the destructive power they released was staggering. The terrifying energy surged like a huge wave, sweeping in all directions, sweeping away everything. Even a monster as strong as a C+ level static swamp would be instantly shattered into pieces if it was touched by the aftermath. Although they were just witnesses and were not present at the scene, the invisible force was enough to make them feel breathless. The battle between B-class fighters was indeed thrilling. Daunting? No, that's not right. To be exact, both sides were equally strong. Both were just entering the B level. If it was in a level great terror, how terrifying would the power it exerted be? I dare not even think about it. Wrong. At this time, a comment from Brother Vanilla appeared in Yan Gu's live broadcast room. Grade A, not only did Su Shen think about it, he also hit a home run. Refers to a mysterious woman in red makeup. Even though it is just a wisp of consciousness incarnation of the original body, it is at least a genuine A-level horror projection. If it were anyone else, they would have been completely taken advantage of and played to death by the red-dressed female ghost. Only a rare talent like Su Shen, the Ning Kaichen of the gaming world, can do what ordinary people cannot. He is truly a role model for our generation and a great man. The battle continues. The Yan country audience and Jian Wu, who was hiding far away, were in a state of high tension the whole time. Unexpectedly, the outcome of the battle became clear very quickly. The moment Su Lin trapped the Cyclops with restraint shackles, flying towards me, at the same time, performed the extreme memory sword dance. The King Feng sword pierced directly into the Cyclops' head. Spiritual power poured in like a hurricane, instantly turning the Cyclops' brain into paste. But even so, this guy didn't die immediately. The vitality is extremely tenacious. Su Lin remained calm throughout. He immediately summoned 2 swords of light, and with a few swishes, he cut off the Cyclops' arms and legs one after another. It struggled and squirmed on the ground like a turtle that had lost its limbs. Finally, fearing that the other party would counterattack before dying, he carefully distanced himself and flew high into the sky, flapping his wings with light patterns. Summoning the bow and arrow of light, swish, swish, swish. Several arrows were shot out in succession, hitting the vital parts of the Cyclops' body. Only after it completely lost all signs of life did Su Lin land nearby with confidence. The battle from start to finish took no more than 5 minutes. Compared with B-level players of the same realm, it is extremely fast. After all, B-level players are basically blood cows and tanks. It is extremely difficult to kill someone at the same level, and it is usually just a war of attrition, slowly draining the opponent's blood and wearing him down to death. Then wait for an opportunity to find a flaw and deliver a fatal blow. But Su Lin thinks that the efficiency is still too slow. The standard he defined for himself was to at least be able to kill enemies of similar realm instantly, and not just be invincible in the same realm. This kind of thinking is indeed a bit Versailles. Chapter 165, Monster Power Plant. Lightning Wood is about to advance. Jian Wu came upon hearing the news. He looked at Su Lin with concern, and seeing that his master was safe and sound, his heart finally settled down. She walked to the Cyclops' body and looked down at it for a while. The corpse, which had just died, still exuded a strong aura, which made people feel scared. If Jian Wu really encounters this Cyclops, he will be easily killed in no more than 3 rounds. However, even such a powerful B-class monster is no match for its master. In just a few minutes, it was easily killed. Master, you are amazing. Jian Wu's eyes seemed to summon stars, full of admiration. Then, Su Lin began to collect the spoils of this trip. The one eye of the Cyclops contains rich energy of thunder element. This eye is also the source of its power. All my skills are here. As for the flesh and blood of the Cyclops, Su Lin refined them into seeds of life. If it weren't for the fragments of the Book of the Dead, currently only creatures below B-level can be transformed into undead servants. It won't work against the Cyclops. Su Lin wouldn't dismember it. With a B-level thug, the safety of the home can be guaranteed. Next, follow Jianwu to collect the nearby static electricity peat. This is the center of the static swamp, the place with the most abundant lightning elements occupied by the Cyclops. Static peat, all of B, epic quality. Although the recent battle has left the land in a mess, resources like static peat can still play a role as long as you don't deliberately destroy it completely. In the live broadcast room, all the viewers were shocked by Su Lin's powerful strength. Some people abroad were deeply shocked, when other players were still at E or D level, and the best was only at C level. Su Lin already has the terrifying level of being able to kill B-class enemies alone. There is no harm without comparison. Such a huge gap makes people abroad feel heavy-hearted. They no longer had any cynical attitude towards Su Lin. All I feel is deep envy, jealousy, and hatred towards the people of Yan. I envy Yan country for producing a talented person like Su Lin, who has brought many civilized marriage rewards to Yan country. I am jealous of the Yan people who are living in such a blessed state. They don't have to do anything. They just watch the live broadcast every day, count the days on their fingers, and wait for the rewards to be distributed. I hate it. Why can't my country have a player like Su Lin to participate in the marriage game? To be honest, due to the randomness of the selection of players in the marriage game, the contestants from hundreds of countries around the world are mostly of varying quality. The series of poor performances has almost made people all over the world suffer from idiotism. I don't even expect to get the reward of civilized marriage. I just hope I can do my duty and live a good life. It would be great if I don't bring disaster to my country after my death. Return home. The Red Queen has already planned the area to place the alien beast energy converter, located in the northwest of the home, next to the magnetic and electric barrier of the wall. I also heard that Su Lin detained a lot of thunder monsters in the random room as generators. The Red Queen was even more delighted. Su Lin took out the alien beast energy converter card and used it. Next second, a mysterious power began to spread from the card, gradually spread and cover the ground. A silver building suddenly appeared. The experimental park has a smooth and solid appearance and a modern industrial style. After the facility was successfully built, it was captured by Su Lin, and the monsters trapped in the prison were revived. Imprisoned, they were panicked and angry, and their roars echoed in the prison area and could be heard clearly even from outside. However, this prison is a world of spiritual revival, and it is a product specially designed by scientists for exotic beasts. Especially when connecting to the main brain Red Queen, she used the energy of lightning struck wood to activate the security system at the first opportunity. No matter how they struggled, they could not escape. Leave them alone, Su Lin said to the Red Queen on the communicator screen. Chapter 154, the communication tool developed by the Red Queen looks like a mobile phone. Yes, the Red Queen takes action. Inside the prison, a gas with a sedative effect was immediately released. In an instant, these D-level and C-level monsters became drowsy and quiet. Then the wires throughout the prison, with large needles at the end, were inserted into the monsters' bodies. This is absorbing the energy in their bodies and converting it into storable and usable energy. As for feeding monsters and replenishing their physical strength, it is actually simple. There are still many spiritual plants in Lingjishan. It's just a meal. There's no need to use high-grade spiritual plants. Just use some low-level spiritual rice and spiritual herbs. Add the extremely high-yield pure yang grass and mix them into animal feed. Indeed, the characteristics of the pure yang grass may make monsters full of energy and show symptoms of clearing. But then again, the monsters in this state provide more energy. Let them generate electricity for love happily tilde. The epic static peat was also placed by Su Lin near the lightning-struck wood. The two complement and blend with each other, stimulating the inner potential of lightning-struck wood. The air around seemed to be filled with heavy fluctuations of thunder elements. It becomes even more full under the influence of static peat, as if a thunderstorm is brewing. The trunks and branches of the lightning-struck would also undergo subtle changes. It becomes thicker at a speed visible to the naked eye. The lightning element jumps between the leaves, and each leaf is like a small lightning elf. Under the catalysis of peat, the vitality and strength of lightning-struck wood are greatly enhanced. The lines on the bark surface are clearly visible, indicating that it is evolving towards a higher level. Hide tips. Lightning-struck wood status. Static electricity peat absorbing energy. Estimated time, 36 hours. This means that it only takes a day and a half to absorb the energy of static peat, and the lightning-struck wood will have the potential to advance to epic quality. Feeling the abundant fluctuations of thunder elements around it, the Thunder Beast was extremely happy. He came running here happily, carrying a pet house on his back, wanting to build his own little home nearby. Unexpectedly, just after settling down, their house was violently demolished by Su Lin. Get lost. Don't absorb the energy of the lightning wood for the next 2 days. Don't let your actions affect the advancement of the lightning wood. Su Lin gave a serious warning. The Thunder Beast had a sullen look on his face, and surprisingly did not refute. I guess it's because it's been having nightmares recently, which has affected the performance of its telegraph machine. Wait, don't leave yet. At this time, Su Lin suddenly called out to the Thunder Beast. A sudden thought. Let the Thunder Beast try to inject thunder element energy into the thunder-struck wood. If you ask for something, you must give it back. Thunder Beasts can absorb the thunder element of thunder-struck wood. On the other hand, can't the Thunderbolt wood, which is itself a spiritual plant of the thunder element, also absorb the thunder element from the Thunder Beast's body. Give it a try. It actually works. P.S. Happy Saturday. There are so few votes and rewards recently. Am I unpopular? Yada tilde tilde, don't let it get cold. It's already the middle of the month. If you still have some money, can you give it to me? Expectant look, rubbing hands. Chapter 166. The little telegraph machine had a close call with death without knowing it. At this time, Su Lin seemed to have discovered a blind spot. He asked Thunder Beast, "How old are you this year?" "Why do you ask that?" "Don't talk nonsense. I ask questions and you answer them." "Well, probably be." Thunder Beast's demeanor and behavior seemed a little shy for some reason. Su Lin asked in confusion, "I didn't ask about your strength level, I was asking about your age. Also, isn't your strength level C+? You haven't even broken through yet. Where did you get the B?" Oh. At the end of the conversation, Su Lin gradually understood. It turns out that the meaning of the small telegraph machine was misunderstood. It referred to its size. After all, from a biological point of view, it belongs to mammals. "You have a B." Su Lin had a strange look on his face, half believing and half doubting. "Wait for the winged little Feifei to refine the elixir for me. Then I will have B." The Thunder Beast was justified. "You seem to be trying to be sarcastic with me, deliberately changing the subject," Su Lin said. "I also want to give you a hand job. Do you want it?" The Thunder Beast raised its sharp claws. "Su Lin, that's not necessary. Tell me your age first." "In my 20s. I have no idea about this." "Su Lin, then how long have you been absorbing the lightning-struck wood?" "It's probably about this number," Thunder Beast recalled. "When I was very young, I came to that valley and lived by absorbing the energy of the lightning-struck wood." Thunder Beast once mentioned its origin. When it was very young, its parents fought against a B+ level Deinonychus crocodile bird in the Misty World to protect it. He has been missing since then, and his whereabouts are unknown. The outcome is not expected to be optimistic. For fear of touching upon the sad story of the small telegraph machine, Su Lin did not mention it further. 20 years ago, lightning-struck wood was of its current grade. Infer from this, if it had not been exploited by the small telegraph machine for so many years, the lightning-struck wood would have advanced to the epic level long ago. It seems that it is time for the little telegraph to pay some interest. Su Lin asked the Thunder Beast to stay nearby to replenish the thunder element energy for the thunder-struck wood. According to Goldfinger's estimate, the time it takes to level up lightning wood has been shortened. It will probably take less than a day to advance smoothly. Afterwards, Su Lin came to the alchemy room. He found Sophia, who was concentrating on researching new pharmacological formulas. B-level life seed. As Sophia saw what Su Lin handed over, her eyes lit up. Looking at it carefully, I couldn't help but admire. I didn't expect that you now have the ability to kill a B-level person alone. There was a strong sense of surprise in his tone. Looking back to when I first met Su Lin, his strength was only C-level, 1 level lower than Sophia at that time. However, in just less than a month, Su Lin made rapid progress and his strength has reached B-level. Among the winged people, this kind of strength is enough to apply to join the Council of Elders, and control the power of one side. Although this is somewhat due to the rules and environment of the matchmaking game world. But so what? Others have the ability to acquire resources and improve their strength, and this is also Su Lin's ability. I can still kill you alone now. Su Lin looked at Sophia's angelic face, devilish figure, and her playful eyes with a hint of heat. I have other things to do. Sophia pointed to the various herbs and notes on the table. But, Sophia slowly raised one foot, pointed it in the air, and gently kicked Xiao Zhulin. He looked at Su Lin with provocative eyes. The corners of her mouth curved up, and she replied in her seductive voice, "Maybe I can use my feet to give you an experience of selflessness. Hurry up and lie down. I'll help you to wake up." She smiled mischievously. Su Lin stared at Sophia's feet, which were as sharp as an eagle's tip, curved and solid, and full of murderousness and beauty. Ecstasy experience X. Physical castration square root. It does have a refreshing function, but it probably hurts. Try and you will die. Oh, and this thing. After the fight, Su Lin took out the Cyclops' eye from his storage bracelet. This thing is as big as an adult's head. The surface of the eyeballs was also experiencing fluctuations of lightning elements. According to the tips of Goldfinger, this eyeball can actually be used as an epic material. It can be used as medicine and alchemy. It can also be used to refine tools. Nice one. Sophia was amazed. Do you really want to use it to make pills? Wouldn't it be a waste? She could feel the extremely pure lightning energy contained in the Cyclops' eyes. The blood essence pill refined from this elemental material can bring huge improvements to the little thunder beast. That's right. Sophia seemed to have thought of something. Don't you still have the Book of the Dead? Can I add the Spirit Seal to this eyeball so that I can gain the Cyclops' lightning ability? Hearing this, Su Lin shook his head slightly. The Spiritual Seal, feature of the fragments of the Book of the Dead, can only grant spiritual marks to servants under its command, allowing them to have spiritual intelligence while at the same time allowing the Lord to mobilize the servant's abilities for his own use. For example, sword dance is like this, but this eyeball is a dead object after all. Only by refining Ellie into a puppet and adding spirit crystal dust and spiritual flesh and blood will she be qualified to be endowed with Spirit Seal. What to do? The remaining lingering crystal dust is somewhat insufficient. Su Lin kept it, waiting to find the perfect container in the future to use it on the Mother Lebe and the strange hair. In comparison, being able to use the abilities of the alien parasite, Mind Corruptor, is countless times stronger than simply mastering the Cyclops' lightning talent. Good steel should be used on the blade. Sophia asked again, then why don't you use the Spirit Seal on Zille, the name of the Thunder Beast, so you can also obtain its thunder ability? Su Lin explained, although the little telegraph machine is stupid, it is a monster after all, and it is naturally intelligent. The Spirit Seal, feature of the Book of the Dead, seems powerful, but in fact it has many limitations. First, he must be a servant under his command, and secondly, he must be a creature with the potential to awaken spirituality and who has not yet developed intelligence. It complements the two characteristics of resurrection of skeletons and control of undead, and is a perfect match. It is used solely to upgrade the undead servants under his command. Of course, it also works on puppets like Sword Dance, but it can only cast spiritual seals and inspire spiritual wisdom. Hey! At this moment, Su Lin suddenly had a bold idea. Why not let the little telegraph be destroyed humanely and sent to paradise? Then use the Book of the Dead to transform it into an undead servant and impose the spiritual seal. In this way, I will have the power of thunder. Why didn't I think of it before? Moreover, after the spiritual seal was applied, the undead servant, the small telegraph machine, was reborn. It can also give birth to a fresh personality that has not been tainted by filth. Rounding it off, this is equivalent to not dying. Instead, he was reborn. Thinking of this, Su Lin couldn't help laughing. You smile like a villain. Sophia complained. Holding the Cyclops' eyeball in disbelief, he said, try it first just in case it works. The Book of the Dead was summoned, and Su Lin chanted the spell to summon the magic circle. Although the spiritual seal was successfully placed on the eyeball, there was no feedback. It must have failed. Prove that this is not feasible. Pity. Sophia's regret was palpable. It seems that the only way to refine it is to make blood essence pill. Then Sophia took out the communicator, contacted the Red Queen, and analyzed the prescription of combining the Cyclops' eye with various spiritual plants. Su Lin left first so as not to disturb the other party's research. As for the idea of humanely destroying the small telegraph machine is just a joke, just something to think about. This guy has been performing pretty well recently. After raising it for so many days, I have developed feelings for it, even if it is just a dog. What's more, the other party is also a competent thug, a C-plus level monster who only needs one piece of spirit flesh to travel 100 kilometers. Where can you find such cheap labor? Although, holding a marriage ceremony with the small telegraph machine is also to obtain the other party's lightning ability. However, Su Lin disliked its foul mouth and couldn't bring himself to do it. Just be my little thug, heh. Chapter 167, A Tiger in a State of Decline. No, now it is a dragon swimming in the water. You are in battle. The blessings feature of the rare item Yin Yang Pisces is triggered, and your partner, Sophia, gains double skill experience acceleration. You are in battle. The blessings feature of the rare item Yin Yang Pisces is triggered, and your partner, Millabelle, gains double skill experience acceleration. You are in battle. The blessings feature of the rare item Yin Yang Pisces is triggered, and your partner, Ellie, gains double skill experience acceleration. The bright night, the couple and their 4 companions spent a lively moment, savoring the joy after the battle and enjoying themselves to the fullest. At this moment, we are lying together on the flower bed. Each other's body temperature formed a heat wave, dispelling the coolness of the night. Su Lin's arms were bent into an arc. Ellie clung to his left arm, while Mirabelle and Sophia squeezed on his right side, respectively. What time is it now? 5 minutes past midnight. Oh, no wonder Su Lin always felt empty in his heart. In the past few days, every night at midnight, after spending some warm time with my 3 wives, they will automatically enter the dream and meet Xiao Hongzhuang. Accustomed to this feeling, she always feels something is missing when she leaves. In particular, it will probably be difficult to find such a top-quality experience baby in the future. Although Su Lin's skill levels have reached purple LV9, the limit of B level. If you want to break through again, you have to wait until you are promoted to a level. Then there is a chance to be promoted to excellent level, orange, skills. Then again, one can't just live off one's savings. I can't upgrade my skills now, but I might get other skills in the future. Driving a small red makeup car, the car speed is roaring, and the upgrade speed is fast. The moonlight shone through the window onto the bed, seemingly sprinkling a layer of silver frost on the ground. Look up at the bright moon, lowering my head and thinking about the red makeup. Why? Su Lin sighed. 2 silent tears, the sound of a bell ringing in my ears. If I had known that after breaking through B level, Xiao Hongzhuang's consciousness would have been dispersed. It would be better to just hold down the level, acquire more skills first, and then max them out together. But there is no medicine for regret in the world. I ran away from an exploited labor force and felt very depressed. But at this moment, Su Lin felt a pain in his ear. What are you thinking about? Ellie's hands deftly pinched Su Lin's left ear. His eyes were as bright as summer stars. Although the corners of his mouth were slightly relaxed, his brows were full of curiosity and scrutiny. What else could it be? Mirabelle followed suit and pinched Su Lin's right ear. This little pervert is probably missing his dream girl again. Her eyes sparkled with amusement and cunning. I don't know why. Every smile from the 2 women at this moment seemed to solidify the surrounding air into glass. What dream lover? Sophia, who was lying next to Mirabelle, poked her head out. Then he suddenly realized, a ghost girl in red makeup, but she is a ghost, not a human. It was careless, as if the solidified glass was broken into pieces and cut at this moment. Click tilde, click tilde. It seemed like the sound of a jealous person bursting, and it rang in Su Lin's heart. Moreover, they were 2 jealous people, and their relationship was broken. Su Lin glared at Sophia. She was really bringing up something that was irrelevant. After all, the encounter with Xiao Hongzhuang is special. Ever since I found a way to deal with Xiao Hongzhuang, I accidentally, unintentionally, and unintentionally discovered that performing rituals with her has improved my skills very quickly. Su Lin was like discovering a new continent, and from then on he couldn't stop. Even in dreams, he would talk and laugh in his sleep from time to time. The 3 girls all lived nearby and were aware of this. But that is not the case. Ellie, Mirabelle, and Sophia, the 3 girls arrived one after another. They were very polite when they first met, and did not embarrass Su Lin on the surface. But deep down, she still felt a little jealous of Su Lin's philandering behavior. As time went by and they became more familiar with each other, This barrier gradually disappeared, and now the three girls get along very happily and are as close as sisters. After all, everything is still based on the rules of the matchmaking game. Marrying your partner in the matchmaking room at least has an official certificate. Legal and reasonable. As for the nameless and unprivileged female sly woman, after she secretly set her eyes on Su Lin, she ended up losing more than she gained. It can also be understood as she failed to force someone to death and ended up being forced to do something. I knew very well that Su Lin was making love with that little bitch every night, but I had no way to stop it. This is not a kind of face-to-face NTR. Both Ellie and Mirabelle felt like their cabbages were being eaten by pigs. "Sister Flower Fairy, why does your hair look so green?" Sophia exclaimed in mock surprise. "I was hated by some heartless person. How can my hair not be green?" Mirabelle's tone was full of resentment, like a woman abandoned by a heartless man. Tears welled up in the corners of her eyes. In fact, the faint green spots floating around on her body mainly came from the passive power of the Flower Fairy clan. Mirabelle also has a talent for plant affinity, and she releases plant-related fluctuations unintentionally. "Sophia," Su Lin glared at her fiercely. "What? Would you shut your mouth? Huh? If you don't speak, no one will think you are dumb." Su Lin even suspected that Xiao Feifei was deliberately provoking family conflicts, and his heart was damnable. "Why?" Sophia rubbed her head in confusion. Then I saw Ellie and Mirabelle pinching one of Su Lin's ears. "You can't be sociable either." "But..." Both of Su Lin's ears were taken away. Where should he grab? "Come on, Sophia has an idea." He moved his body close to Mirabelle, leaned forward, and grasped Su Lin's future. "What are you going to do?" Su Lin's face looked a little strange. "Is it okay to just touch it?" Sophia said confidently. "Then what did you use to touch it, please?" "What else could it be? Your favorite Lu Jai feet." "Because if I use my hands, I have to stand up and bend over because of Mirabelle, which is far less comfortable than lying down." Don't move." Su Lin panicked. "Move away slowly, be gentle, and stay away from my future. Don't you know how sharp your chicken claws are?" "Don't panic," Sophia sneered. "I didn't use the tip of my claws, I just used the arch and sole of your foot. I can't hurt you, don't worry." "Don't worry, the yarn is really hard, take it away from me." "Didn't Bunny do the same thing during the fight just now? Why can't I do the same thing? Okay, you discriminate against me. If you keep on wasting time, I'll chop off your chicken feet and eat them with the wine." When Sophia took back Lu Jai's foot, Su Lin breathed a sigh of relief. "It seems I have to be on guard against Xiao Feifei in the future. It would be best to have her wear foot covers or something when she sleeps at night." While I was thinking, my ears started to hurt. Su Lin met Mirabelle's gaze, and the latter snorted. "Face the reality and give up fantasy. Stop dreaming all day." Mirabelle let go of her hand, tapped Su Lin's head, and reminded him, "I was bullied by a dog when I was in trouble. I suffered the consequences from you, a little pervert. If I have to do that again, I won't be so lucky." Refers to the level horror and weird incident involving a woman with red makeup. After all, the other party was just a wisp of consciousness and almost caused Su Lin to fail. If we really encounter the real body, I estimate that 10 Su Lin multiplied by 3 would not be enough to hit him with just one finger. A tiger in troubled waters. That's all in the past. Su Lin hugged his arms tightly, stood up, and stacked Mirabelle and Ellie together. "Now, I want a dragon dive." What? The night is long. The battle started again. Even if Su Lin's skills have been upgraded to the maximum, he can rely on the rare item yin-yang fish to improve the skill levels of the three women. The current skills of the three wives have all been upgraded to purple quality. Try to fill it up as soon as possible. Chapter 168. You can definitely trust Thunder Beast when it comes to things like lack of moral integrity. The next day, after brushing 2 random rooms and obtaining some resources, Su Lin returned home. I saw the little Thunder Beast acting as a telegraph to generate electricity for love for the lightning-struck tree. It looks like he hasn't slept all night. Looking at the static Pete again, it has been almost absorbed. Unexpectedly, the Thunder Beast, which has always been lazy and does a lot of shit and piss, is surprisingly diligent this time. On second thought, that's actually true. After all, with the advancement of the Lightning Wood, the Thunder Beast will have a better chance of breaking through the B level. For monsters, advancing from C level to B level brings more than just an improvement in strength. It also has a transformative effect, which is extremely important. No wonder the little telegraph machine is so important. Take a break. Su Ba Pai showed mercy. I just hunted a few monsters in the random room. I'll give you a snack later. What kind of monster? The Thunder Beast twitched its ears and asked for clarification first. A wild boar and 2 demon wolves, both D+ level. Su Lin seemed to be giving it a recipe. I'll make some lard first, and then fry the wolf meat for you to eat. The Thunder Beast curled its lips and said disdainfully, wolf meat is not tasty, too dry and astringent. Then he asked, why can't you fry pork chops for me? Because that's for me and my wives to eat. Just tell me whether you want to eat or not. Su Lin didn't intend to indulge its picky eating habits. It's good enough to have something to eat. Why are you so picky? Looks like we'll have to starve it for a few more days. What? About an hour later, the lightning struck wood advanced successfully. The panel is as follows. Name, lightning struck wood. Type, plant special spiritual tree. Rating, epic. Quality, purple inferior quality. Features, 1 lightning element. 2 thunderbolt evil repellent ability amplified. 3 earth roots. The thunder god tree is tougher and has the characteristics of being hard as metal and stone, and can survive in extreme environments. 4 thunder mist curtain. The ability to dispel fog is enhanced. Of the original 4 characteristics, except for the thunder element, which has not changed much, the other 3 have been significantly improved. In particular, using materials such as branches struck by lightning to refine tools also has the function of warding off evil spirits, and has a restraining effect on strange and undead beings. After a whole night of hard work, the Thunder Beast's eyes flickered, revealing deep satisfaction and relief. Then he leaned against the lightning-struck tree to rest. The silently emitted purple arc of lightning element was slowly absorbed by the Thunder Beast, emitting a faint light of lightning and gradually recovering its strength. Good things come in pairs. It was afternoon. There's news from Sophia. Using the eyeballs of the Cyclops and various spiritual plants, he successfully refined a B-grade blood essence pill. Unfortunately, the yield is very low, only 1. And because the Cyclops itself is a Thunder-type creature, this blood essence pill is also a Thunder-type creature. Sophia had anticipated this. For Xylay, Sophia asked if the improved Spirit Beast Mirror breaking pill is added. The success rate of the Thunder Beast's breakthrough, conservatively estimated, is at least 70%. A bold estimate is that the success rate of breaking through the realm is 90%. Rounding it off, that's 100%. If I fail, I might as well find a piece of tofu and kill myself. Let's go eat first. After a good meal and a good drink, the family stayed in the living room and chatted. Thunder Beast stared at the remaining half-piece of fried pork chop on Su Lin's plate, drooling. But I was too embarrassed to ask for it. That would make me seem too spineless. Even if you become a contracted beast, you cannot lose the dignity of a beast. If you eat leftovers from other people's plates, other animals will laugh at you if they get the news. Look what this is. Su Lin suddenly waved at the Thunder Beast. The latter turned his head away guiltily. No, the Thunder Beast said with a proud face. You really don't want to eat. It's not right. I am a descendant of the noble royal family after all. How can I? What is this? At the end, the Thunder Beast noticed the elixir in Su Lin's hand that exuded a rich and pure breath of thunder element. Give me. It pounced forward suddenly, but Su Lin deliberately dodged it. Don't you want to eat? I thought you gave me pork chops, but it turned out to be. All the persistence of Thunder Beast, attracted by the rich scent of the elixir, its original pretense of indifference was completely broken. All I heard was the sound of it pursing its lips, and its eyes were filled with a greedy look. That's right, what was before its eyes were the coveted B-grade Thunder Blood Essence Pill and Spirit Beast Mirror Breaking Pill. How could it refuse? Su Lin chuckled, then shook the pill left and right, like playing with a pet. He pretended to throw the pill into the air, and then took it back when it was about to leave his hand, causing the Thunder Beast to miss its target repeatedly, its eyes burning and its hair standing on end. Here, I'll fry some pork chops for you. Su Lin picked up the plate and handed it to Thunder Beast. The latter remained unmoved. You stop teasing me, give it to me quickly, I want it. The Thunder Beast's tone was rarely submissive, but Su Lin was still not satisfied. You should act like a beggar when asking for help. Your attitude now makes it very difficult for me to handle. On the side, Ellie, Mirabelle and Sophia all chuckled and found it very interesting. You, then tell me, what should I do? When you live under someone's roof, you have to bow your head. For the descendants of the fallen royal family, like the Thunder Beast, Being promoted to Class B also gives them a chance to make their bloodline closer to that of their former ancestors. For monsters, such temptation is unimaginable. You are my spirit beast, and you have always been very respectful to me. Do you think this is right? I'm wrong, okay? Then I apologize to you. Then make an apology gesture. Su Lin smiled. Take this opportunity to teach the outspoken little telegraph machine a lesson. Then, under the gaze of the three women and Jian Wu, the Thunder Beast struggled for a moment. Bend your limbs and kneel down. Then before Su Lin could speak, then I saw the Thunder Beast kneeling and turning around. The beast raised its buttocks and rushed towards Su Lin. I was wrong, please forgive me. It lowered its voice, looking like it was about to cry, dripping with tears, ready for you to taste it. Su Lin's face was filled with black lines. He was so angry that he kicked it hard in the ass. Who the hell do you take me for? Stop doing weird things like this, okay? Veins bulged on Su Lin's forehead, and he suddenly had the urge to kill it. You are like your owner, you get like your pet. Sophia couldn't help but complain. Shut up, Su Lin, who was filled with shame and anger, threatened fiercely. You little bastard, you have no right to teach me a lesson. Believe it or not, I will also teach you a lesson later. Ah, there is such a good thing. After saying that, Sophia quickly realized that something was wrong and immediately pretended to be pitiful. Well, please don't. I was wrong. Please forgive me, tilde. He pretended to be fearful on the surface, but his tone was one that tempted people to commit a crime. For Sophia, who has opened the door to a new world, punishing her and teaching her a lesson is actually a reward for her and can add a lot of fun to her. Su Lin was too lazy to pay attention to Sophia. Call the Thunder Beast over again and ask it to kneel down. Officially declare to it the code of conduct as a contracted beast and set 3 rules. First of all, call me Master from now on. Okay, Master tilde. The Thunder Beast wagged its tail to show its goodwill. MD, you changed your words so easily. Weren't you very brave before? Now, for the sake of elixirs, you even throw away your moral integrity. Oh no, this little telegraph machine has never had any moral integrity. I am just superficial. The second point is that from now on, you must be respectful not only to me but also to the mistresses in the house. You must not offend them. The Thunder Beast stared at the 2 pills in Su Lin's hand and said, No problem, I'm always very obedient. Who did you learn this skill of lying with your eyes open from? Isn't it the same as you? Oh no, of course, people are influenced by the culture of their master, so I learned it naturally. You must be thinking something like, birds of a feather flock together, and when the upper beam is crooked, the lower beams will be crooked. As for the last third one, Su Lin stroked his chin, thinking, that means adding 10 new rules. What? Thunder Beast was shocked. What, are you unlucky? Su Lin glanced at it. I am convinced, I am so convinced. Thunder Beast gnashed his teeth. Even the wall is not convinced, so I am convinced by you, your dog brain. The master's brain is so active that he is smart enough to think of finding such a loophole. It is really shameless. Too smart, tilde. Okay, Su Lin nodded with satisfaction. Then I will tell you about the new rules. First of all, the first new rule. And the 4th one. 9th rule. Is it used up so soon? For those 10 requirements, I'll add another 100 rules. Take a break. Finally, the Thunder Beast couldn't bear it anymore. After being teased by Su Lin repeatedly, its patience was almost exhausted. Although I am not a human, you are a real dog. Let's just do this. From now on, you can order me around and do whatever you want to me. If it doesn't work, you can see my sincerity now. The Thunder Beast had a determined look on his face. What sincerity? Su Lin was a little confused. He couldn't understand this guy's flexibility in thinking. Was it so big? The Thunder Beast knelt and crawled forward, first looking down at the hiding little Su Lin. Then look up. Shocking statement. I can give it to you right now. I guarantee you'll do it. Just tell me, is it okay? Chapter 169. Thunder Beast breaks through and the friends are all shocked. After playing around, in the end, Su Lin gave the 2 pills to the Thunder Beast. They also made an exception and gave it a single room in the villa to ensure that it could concentrate on its breakthrough in a quiet environment. You still have a conscience. The Thunder Beast took the pill happily, wagging its tail and looking in a very good mood. You forgot your name again, didn't you? Su Lin knocked on its head. After getting the benefits, you are no longer you change your face so quickly. Then, this time in the afternoon, Su Lin, who had nothing to do, concentrated on accompanying his 3 wives. I took the time to look at Ellie's attribute panel. Talent, dexterity during this period has reached C+ level. In addition to her diligent work in refining equipment every day, it was naturally also thanks to Su Lin's assistance, which made use of Ellie's ingenuity and dexterity in her times of joy. Even if Ellie was pregnant and did not take the right path during the battle. But you can also gain skill experience by using your dexterity and eloquence. This kind of behavior is also considered as training between partners in marriage games. I have to say that the consideration is quite comprehensive. This avoids the embarrassing situation where both parties are unable to improve their skills and experience because the wife is pregnant. Sophia is still busy making the elixir, although there is currently a lack of B-level monster flesh and blood as the main medicine. But there are still many seeds of life refined from the flesh and blood of C-level monsters in the house. He planned to use quantitative change to determine qualitative chain and refine a few more C+ grade blood essence pills so that the 3 girls could be promoted to B grade as soon as possible. The blood orchid and the spirit dew wind chime are not enough. In the alchemy room, Sophia was counting the medicinal materials. It just so happens that you have nothing to do this afternoon, so go to the spiritual plant farm and ripen some of them and bring them to me. Then you have to give me some benefits first. Su Lin's eyes were fiery as he looked at Sophia's devilish figure. Since breaking through the B level, spiritual energy has condensed into pulp, and all aspects of the body have been greatly improved. Even the desire for fighting has increased several times. Before, at around sea level, the 3 women could still fight back and forth with Su Lin. But now, even the 3 women working together are finding it a bit too much to handle. Oh, wait till I'm done with my work. Sophia waved her hands repeatedly, but was held back by Su Lin. No, I still need to make pills later. I'm afraid I don't have the energy. Sophia was still frightened. After all, Su Lin's fighting ability is very strong. After each battle, I have to rest for a while before the trembling stops. Then you can fight without trembling. Su Lin gently stroked Sophia's red lips and smiled. What bad guy? Afterwards, Sophia swallowed, looked up, and looked at Su Lin with her beautiful eyes with a hint of resentment. Why is he a bad guy? Su Lin laughed dumbly. This is a B-grade essence. It will be very helpful for you if you take it. It is the true seed of life. Then why don't you eat? Sophia rolled her eyes at him. I want to leave the best for you. Go to hell. Sophia stood up and hit Su Lin's chest twice seductively. You are so bad. I clearly said no, but you forced me to do it. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. You almost choked me to death. But I saw your expression just now. You seemed to like it. You said one thing but meant another. Su Lin, in a happy mood, came to the spiritual plant field. Coincidentally, Mirabelle was there too. As soon as I saw Su Lin, I immediately became interested. Just play the farmer role-playing game. The clothes are transformed using the talent of the flower fairy. Wearing high-waisted jeans, a wide-brimmed straw hat, and an off-white casual shirt. Holding a whip. He also asked Su Lin to use the 1,000 Illusions treasure clothes to transform himself into a tattered slave, or laborer. Since she became pregnant, Mirabelle, whose emotions have been a little unstable, has always been able to develop some new ways to play. Su Lin, who loved his wife dearly, naturally tried his best to meet her requirements, and he enjoyed it. Hurry up. Don't dilly-dally. Otherwise, there will be no food tonight. Mirabelle swung the whip, urging Su Lin to use the flower language to ripen the spiritual plants. The expressions and behaviors were imitated vividly, and he got into the role quite quickly. The cultivation and ripening of blood orchids is quite simple. Using the corpses of monsters stored at home for nourishment, production increased rapidly. As for the special spiritual plant called Linglu Wind Chime, first, you need to use the Seed of Life to upgrade the dew-drinking mosquito to level D. Then let the spirit dew wind chime devour the dew-drinking mosquitoes to produce collectible spiritual liquid. Finish so quickly. Mirabelle tutted her tongue. You little slave are quite efficient. And just at this moment, she noticed that Su Lin was approaching with ill intentions. Finally realized something was wrong. You, what are you going to do? Dry. How dare you? I am your master, don't speak such foul language. Mirabelle swung the whip, but Su Lin snatched it away. At this moment, the labor slave, Su Lin, rebelled. He turned the tables and taught the farmer Mirabelle, who had exploited him, a lesson. After her symbolic resistance failed, Mirabelle had no choice but to accept her humiliating fate. He even disliked Su Lin for being too slow. Hurry up, don't dawdle. Otherwise, tonight, you won't have any food to eat. What? The other side. A thunder beast in a single room of a villa. After careful adjustment, push yourself to the best condition. He resolutely swallowed the B-level Thunder Blood Essence pill and chewed it into pieces. Suddenly, lightning flashed everywhere, illuminating the entire room. The Thunder Beast was concentrating on absorbing the rich Thunder element energy released by the elixir. The royal blood hidden in the body seems to have undergone some miraculous changes. Even so, it is only close and has not completely returned to its heyday. But for it at present, it is also a rare transformation. At the critical moment of breakthrough, the Thunder Beast swallowed the improved Spirit Beast mirror-breaking pill into its mouth and began to try to break through the B-level blockade. I don't know how much time passed. I only heard a few crackling sounds inside its body, as if some shackles were broken. The Thunder Beast finally awakened from the deep refining process. The moment he opened his eyes, a breathtaking flash of lightning seemed to burst out from the depths of his eyes. It feels like thunder roaring inside the body. The spiritual energy surged, and the powerful force made it seem like it was reborn. Compared with before, it was many times stronger. B-level. The Thunder Beast grinned and laughed. Facts have proved that following Su Lin was indeed the right choice. According to common sense, if a Thunder Beast wants to break through to B-level, it will take at least 10 years. Less than a month after meeting Su Lin, he successfully broke through. Greatly reduced the time. Moreover, there is meat to eat every day. It is countless times better than staying in the foggy world, that deserted valley. Just at this moment, the door of the single room was suddenly pushed open. Su Lin, the three women, and Jian Wu all appeared. At this time, it was already night. The Thunder Beast's breakthrough made a loud noise, forcing Su Lin and others, who had just finished dinner and were preparing for post-meal exercise, to come and see the situation first. However, when everyone saw the changes in the Thunder Beast at this moment, they were all stunned. Chapter 170. Flowers may not bloom if you try hard, but willows may grow if you plant them accidentally. Is that you in this portrait? Su Lin held up an oil painting and showed it to Lei Beast. This painting was created by Ellie. When the Thunder Beast first joined the home, Ellie was itching to paint a picture herself. It's me. Thunder Beast took a closer look and said, at that time I was still very thin. This is not you. Why isn't it me? Thunder Beast was confused. Su Lin asked Jian Wu to bring a mirror so that Leshu could take a closer look. In an instant, the Thunder Beast was startled. This is really not me. The Thunder Beast at this moment is no longer the same Thunder Beast as before. Instead, she turned into a petite little loli. Her short violet hair was eye-catching, like lightning in the quiet night, silently flashing with a mysterious luster, as if the power of thunder was flowing through her hair. Those purple eyes were sharp, like a wild dance of lightning. She has a pretty face, a small upturned nose, and rosy lips as bright as cherry blossom petals. She has a slender figure, like a piece of art carved by nature, and her fair skin gleams like porcelain in the moonlight. In her cuteness, she also has a fierce and adorable air about her unwillingness to submit to anyone. This is because he broke through the B-level and successfully stimulated the royal bloodline hidden in his body, thus gaining the talent to transform into a human. Because it is a rigid form, it is not covered with a single thread. The fair skin makes people unable to take their eyes away. Only, poor a cup's size. Looks like malnutrition. Tusk, this little telegraph machine, had the audacity to say before that she had a B. It turns out to be a lie. Where are you looking at, Niema? Lei Shu noticed Su Lin's gaze on her, and with a look of alertness on his face, he hurriedly covered his chest. Su Lin smiled slightly. I just envy you. Envy? Thunder Beast was startled and looked at herself in the mirror. She was so delicate and beautiful, so she couldn't help but feel a little proud and asked doubtfully, what do you envy me for? Su Lin said calmly, I envy you for being so rich and having your own airport at such a young age. Airport? This word is very new to Thunder Beast, and he doesn't understand what it means specifically. He's making fun of you, you're very average. Mirabelle explained with a smile, glancing at the hand of Thunder Beast covering his chest. How dare you laugh at me, you idiot? The Thunder Beast was furious and pounced on Su Lin like a wild beast. He opened his mouth, showing his small canine teeth as if he was about to bite Su Lin, just like usual. But she ignored the fact that she had already transformed into a human form and was completely naked. The short-haired, poor lowly Thunder Beast hugged Su Lin's neck and hung on Su Lin. Her flawless white skin was like the finest silk, and her legs were as strong and nimble as an antelope, swaying as she moved. The mysterious areas that were originally hidden are exposed, like tender skin and flat belly, close to each other. especially when she launched the attack reflexively. Her face was angry and focused, showing her wild charm to the fullest. There may be nothing wrong with this behavior for her. However, for Su Lin, it was a bit too much. "Sit down." Su Lin spoke suddenly. These two words utilized the power of the Spirit Beast contract to prevent the Thunder Beast from disobeying. He jumped off Su Lin in an instant and sat on the ground obediently. He raised his little head and stared at Su Lin, still a little unconvinced. But then compare the sizes of the four women present. The Thunder Beast was suddenly stunned. Ellie probably D. Mirabelle, on the other hand, has the E level. Sophia, although also E, occupies a larger area than Mirabelle. Even the female swordsman puppet, the one called Sword Dance, seems to have C. Damn it, why is every woman in this family better than me? It makes me feel very inferior, Lei Shu muttered to himself. As for Su Lin, after taking a few deep breaths, he finally put out the fire in his heart. Don't let desire cloud your reason. People cannot, or at least should not, send petitions to their pets. Wronged. It must be because he saw the Thunder Beast just transformed into a cute female ghost, and he was not careful for a moment and almost fell into the ditch. I'm definitely not a fan of the copper refining Lolita. Absolutely not. Su Lin said in his heart. Little did he know that the Ring of Unity could convey his thoughts to the three girls. Mirabelle, then how do you explain the alien parasite mother you call Lieb? Sophia, yes. According to the characteristics of the mind corroder, she will transform into the form that best suits your XP points. And she said you are not a changer. Ellie, no way. Are you really such a person, husband? Well, if I'm pregnant now and become your wife in the future, will you lose interest in me, Wu tilde tilde? Su Lin, that's not true. Don't talk nonsense. Lei Bei is transformed into a little lowly because my strength level is too high and it takes several years to grow. I warn you, don't slander me. Jian Wu, master, mistress, what are you doing with your eyes on each other? What? It is a happy thing that the Thunder Beast has broken through and transformed into a human form. At least, it's not as annoying as before. Purple short hair plus flat breasts plus female ghost. It can earn a lot of people's XP. Su Lin was just simply admiring her, and he couldn't help but feel the urge to flirt with her. He had absolutely no other thoughts. It doesn't mean that her human form will remain fixed in the future. Instead, it can switch between two different forms, human and animal. The Thunder Beast form is used for combat and can unleash the Thunder Beast's maximum power. The human form is called Purple Thunder Form by Su Lin. It is quite appropriate to call the human form by her human name. It is used for cultivation. In human form, his comprehension is significantly enhanced. After all, humans are the most intelligent creatures in the world. This is also based on the fact that the royal bloodline of the Thunder Beast's ancestors is strong enough. In addition, there are blood essence pills and spirit beast mirror breaking pills to help. That's why he had the talent to transform into a human after breaking through to level B. Moreover, the human form after transformation is very similar to humans. What was even more surprising was that Su Lin actually received a prompt from the system. Gained a lightning skill, lightning element transformation, purple. This is the skill of the Cyclops. How come I suddenly own you? Su Lin couldn't help but feel a little confused. Looking at the purple Thunder Beast human form in front of him, the hidden prompt suddenly appears. Because the eyeball of the Cyclops was spiritual seal, by you using the fragments of the Book of the Dead, and then refined into a pill by your partner Sophia, and taken by the Thunder Beast, the spiritual seal feature was triggered, indirectly granting spiritual marks to your servants, which has never been used for your ability to dispatch servants. Even if you try to plant flowers, they may not bloom, but if you plant willows by accident, they will grow into a shade. Is this some kind of hidden bug? Su Lin sighed, is there such a thing? Then, if I encounter a stronger enemy in the future, wouldn't I be able to use this method to obtain the opponent's skills? At this moment, the system's voices sounded one after another. The Book of the Dead fragments, the Spirit Seal feature is triggered. You gain the skill Thunderbolt Purple from your Spirit Beast Purple Thunder. Skills acquired. Lightning Chain Blue, Lightning Ball Blue, Strong Electric Shield Blue, Thunder Horn Impact Blue. Chapter 171. The small telegraph machine is out of order. At this moment, all the thunder skills possessed by the Thunder Beast were controlled by Su Lin. But Su Lin now has higher standards. Apart from the purple quality Thunder Fury, he is somewhat dismissive of the other blue quality skills. Especially, the little red makeup is gone. There is no rocket speed to increase skill experience levels. It will take a lot of time to advance a blue quality skill to purple. Lightning Element Transformation, Purple LV1. This is thanks to the Thunder Blood Essence pill made from the Cyclops eyeball. Su Lin and Lei Beast also mastered this skill. Skill effect. 1. Absorb the lightning element and transform it into spiritual power in the body. 2. By attracting and gathering the surrounding thunder elements, you can strengthen your own thunder skills, reduce the casting cost, and improve the effect. Precisely because of this powerful skill, the Cyclops is considered to have great potential even if placed at the B level. It took Su Lin some effort to kill it. It took no more than 5 minutes. If the Cyclops did not have the skill to transform the lightning element, he could be easily defeated in a minute or two at most. Even though it is both B grade, it is far from being a match for Su Lin, who possesses all purple quality skills at the maximum level. For example, in a 5v5 MOBA game, it just spent 250 gold coins to buy an iron sword at the beginning. Su Lin had already prepared the maximum level jungle knife plus broken army and came over to kill. Even if they were at the same level, the difference in skill quality and level was like a punishment from heaven. No wonder the red-dressed female ghost was so surprised when she saw that Su Lin's skills were all purple quality. Although some people are not around, they are always in my thoughts. Su Lin sighed. Xiao Hongzhuang, you left too early. I was unable to see all the colorful flowers in this world, and left the stunning scenery to others. Without Xiao Hongzhuang to help him level up, Su Lin felt like he had missed out on 100 million. What is left behind is endless longing and unforgettable memories. If the red-dressed woman heard Su Lin's thoughts at this moment, I will definitely reply with disgust. Don't Q, you lecher, get away from me. Just as Su Lin was immersed in thought, Ellie has thoughtfully changed clothes for Zai Lei, Thunder Beast, human form. The little lowly wears Ellie's clothes, which makes her tender figure more prominent, especially the small, flat board that is big enough to be used as a washboard, which can't be held up, making the clothes look even looser. However, this subtle ill-fitting actually highlights her petiteness and cuteness. Very childish. Are you hungry? Ellie stroked Zai Lei's little head and spoke in a gentle voice. To the little sister form of Ultralisk, Ellie acted like a warm-hearted sister next door. This can be seen from the time when Mirabelle consumed too much spiritual energy and transformed into a female ghost. Coincidentally, the appearance of Zai Lei filled the vacancy of the lack of a female ghost in the family. Mirabelle looked at Zai Lei with interest, smiling. Her eyes seemed as if she was looking at some new toy. Sophia's attention was mainly focused on the faint lightning spots emitted from Zai Lei's hair. She fell into deep thought, and no one knew what the hell she was thinking about. Jianwu's eyes always lingered between Zilei and Su Lin. She was a little alert, worried that the appearance of this little bitch would snatch away Su Lin's love for her. She felt like she was competing for favor. Su Lin felt a little regretful. This was because he failed to obtain the Thunder Beast's talent mastery of Thunder Element through the characteristics of the Spirit Seal of the Book of the Dead. Oh, that's not right. After the Thunder Beast was promoted to B level, her talent Lightning Element Mastery, C+ level, was upgraded to Lightning Magic B. If we compare skills to weapons, that talent is like the hand that holds the weapon. Although with Su Lin's current realm, even if he does not have Thunder talent, he can still use Thunder skills. But in terms of power, it is still a little lacking, unable to fully exert its maximum power. No matter what, the breakthrough of the Thunder Beast is always worth celebrating. There is another B-level expert in the family. Ellie even cooked herself and prepared many sumptuous banquets to celebrate. The Thunder Beast, no, now it can be called Purple Thunder, ate with relish, enjoying it very much. After she was transformed into a human form, she was qualified to sit at the table for meals. It did satisfy her self-esteem a little. Late at night, after eating and drinking his fill, Zai Lei yawned and returned to the pet house next to the lightning-struck tree in the courtyard, where he lay down and fell asleep. You're going to sleep here? Su Lin asked. Zai Lei opened his eyes and looked up at him. If you don't want to sleep here, why don't you sleep in your room? Her attitude is still as sharp as ever, and her female ghost attributes are confirmed. It's not impossible. If you think about it carefully, it would be quite interesting to tie the little girl up with a small chain and keep her in a pet house. Su Lin thought evilly, ignored Zai Lei, walked to the lightning-struck tree, reach out to touch it, and use the newly acquired skill Lightning Element transformation, absorbing the lightning element energy of epic quality lightning struck wood. After some attempts, He indeed found that the spiritual power in his body had increased. But I always feel it's a little worse. It's hard to describe that feeling. How should I put it? It's like a jungler without a jungle knife. The big plate chicken only comes in a big plate. The core of water spinach is hollow. There is no wife in wife cake. Sweet and sour pork has no ant and no meat. It seems that I still need to acquire the talent of lightning. Su Lin muttered to himself. He walked slowly to the pet house, leaned over, and kicked the little thunder beast Zai Lei, who fell asleep in an instant. "What are you doing?" Zai Lei opened his sleepy eyes, his little mouth unable to close, and said dissatisfiedly, "Remember what you promised me before." "What? Sincerity? What sincerity? Playing dumb, aren't you? You promised sincerity before giving you the elixir." "Oh, let me think about it." Zai Lei was lying in the pet house, looking like he was thinking. "I remember now." She suddenly realized, "You want me to help you, right?" Zai Lei raised his head and stared at Su Lin. Look at him with a look of watching a change of stage. Her little body subconsciously shrank back into the pet house. Suddenly, she shouted, "Madam, come here quickly, Su Lin wants to." Before she could finish, Su Lin quickly covered her mouth. "Shut up. What are you yelling about? I still lack the talent for thunder, so I need you to help me practice. Can you understand a little bit?" Hearing this, Zai Lei bit Su Lin's hand and said, "You clearly want to attack me. Why do you have so many excuses?" She whimpered and felt frightened. She is a talkative geek, a king on the keyboard but a dwarf in action. When it comes to the real thing, she is still very shy. Since you have seen it, I will just stop pretending. Being naturally prude, oh no, being naturally romantic, that doesn't seem right either. Anyway, Su Lin is a progressive-minded person, and he is willing to give everything for progress. Is it okay to just talk? Can, aren't you enough? No need. Like I said, it's just to get the lightning talent. Tusk Tusk the eagle is cruel, right? Stop talking nonsense and hurry up. Oh my, you're so impatient. As expected, after changing your skin, you don't even pretend anymore, right? You can even send a message to your own pet. You're really useless. Ahem. The next second, the telegraph machine's microphone port was blocked. The telegraph machine suddenly stopped working. Chapter 172, The Birth of a Child. Mirabelle's child is born. Yan Country enters the era of spiritual energy revival. After obtaining the talent of thunder magic, Su Lin's life in the next few days was quite fulfilling. The probability of spawning B-level monsters in random rooms is higher. This verifies the conjecture that in a matchmaking game, as the player's level increases and their overall strength becomes stronger, the difficulty of the random room will also increase. As usual, if you encounter a difficult room, just pass it up. With Zai Lei, 2 B-level masters went out and hunted down 3 B-level monsters, allowing Sophia to refine 3 B-level blood essence pills. The strength of the 3 wives has all been upgraded to B-level, and at this moment, the elegant and lively fairy flower, Mirabelle's true self in the dormitory, began to show its unique charm. Entering a special life cycle, natural miracles are presented in a poetic and picturesque way among the fairy flowers. A fruit nourished by love is condensed, lighting up the fairy flowers like stars. Like a very rare gem, it is delicate and beautiful, wrapping a little life that longs to see the world. At the same time, system prompts broadcast globally. The spring flowers gently unfold the seeds in their stamens, waiting to bear fruit to celebrate the double happiness. The birth of a fairy is a sign of good fortune, and the autumn moon will arrive when the sun rises. Congratulations to Yan Country player, Su Lin, for having a child, having a smooth confinement and welcoming the baby with a smile. You and your partner, Mirabelle, will receive the following rewards. Charm plus 15. Talent Flower Fairy's gift is upgraded to Flower Fairy's Blessing. New entry derived, Fairy Flower Blooms. Skill, Flower Language. Since player Su Lin has upgraded this skill to Purple Quality Level 9, the reward is changed to increase the chance of advancing Flower Language to Excellent Level. Mirabelle's Flower Language level is raised to Purple LV9, and the chance of Flower Language advancing to Excellence level is also raised. The reward after having a child is actually an improvement for both husband and wife. I guess it's because this is the fruit of love born from the joint efforts of the couple. Or perhaps in the matchmaking game, the reward of having a child is a higher level of joy than pregnancy. First of all, talents and skills retain their original characteristics and are greatly improved. The second is the new entry, Fairy Flower Blooms. Description, derived from the power of the flower fairy, it can summon a phantom of a fairy flower as a magic circle. Feature 1, Fairy Flower Resonance. Fairy flowers bloom within the range of the magic circle, enhancing the effect of the flower language skill and increasing the damage of other skills. Feature 2, Fairy Flower Spirit Seed. The seed of life, transformed from a B-level flesh and blood creature, will be transformed into a Fairy Flower Spirit Seed, which is comparable to a spiritual yuan pill of the same level. It can be taken to improve cultivation, or used to cultivate spiritual plants, or transformed into a flower pet. Flower pet, a B-level flesh and blood creature that is transformed into a fairy flower spirit, a special spirit pet that is nurtured after being reborn. Although there is a level restriction, only those at grade B are eligible to transform into fairy flower spirit seeds. But it is extremely practical. As long as there are enough B-level flesh and blood creatures, Su Lin will no longer have to worry about the problem of cultivating Lingyuan Dan in the future. Moreover, the characteristics of transforming into a flower pet are like allowing Su Lin to have countless spirit beast contract scrolls. Plus the Necronomicon, Su Lin can now change his job to a summoner. Immediately following, the matchmaking game rewards Yan Nation's civilizational marriages. Flower Fairy's Blessing advances to Flower Fairy's Protection. Lifespan +10, Constitution +20, Spirit +20, Charm +2. Physical and mental recovery speed increased to 30%. A small amount of spiritual energy will be born within the territory. Those who do not meet the threshold set by the player, Su Lin, will not be given this reward. With the announcement of the reward, hundreds of millions of people in Yan country fell into complete carnival. Fuck, this is awesome. I've directly increased my lifespan by 10 years and my physical and mental strength and recovery speed by 20%. I feel like I can kill Tyson with one punch now. If we divide the game into different levels according to their abilities, all of us in Yan country are at the beginning of the E level. Just to correct, not everyone. There are still many morally corrupt scums who will not receive the civilized marriage reward brought by God Su. That's all their own fault. No one else can be blamed. As an aside, in recent times, with Su Lin's continuous improvement, many people in Yan country have come to their senses and reformed, also received this wave of rewards. But there are also many people who do not repent and can only watch enviously. What was most unexpected to the people of Yan was that spiritual energy was born in Yan. This is the best thing that has ever existed on Earth, although this spiritual energy is very weak and cannot be compared with the marriage world. But this is enough to be called a groundbreaking product. This means that the spiritual energy of Yan country has revived, and everyone has the possibility of cultivating immortals. For a moment, various emotions such as shock, surprise, hope, and question surged in their hearts. This incident not only brought great shock to the land of Yan. At the same time, a major earthquake occurred in countries around the world and in every corner of the globe. Some people had complicated expressions, including envy, jealousy, and even deep worry. The rapid progress of Yan state was something they envied, but also something they were deeply afraid of. But anyone with a discerning eye can see it. Because of Su Lin's existence, the rise of Yan state has become an inevitable trend, and no one can stop it. What? Is this Sister Flower Fairy's baby? Ellie blinked and looked at the fist-sized fruit growing on the fairy flower. I felt the purest fluctuation of life. Sophia was a little bit unbelievable. I'm also envious of this. After all, among Su Lin's 3 wives, she is the only one who is not pregnant. Mirabelle, who became pregnant later, was the first to give birth to a child because of the special characteristics of the Flower Fairy clan. The breeding process of the Flower Fairies is extremely special. The continuation of life of its offspring is exactly the same as the reproduction process of flowers. This fruit is equivalent to the shape of a fetus in swaddling clothes. Until it absorbs enough energy, it gradually grows and matures, and finally turns into a beautiful fairy flower. And at that moment, the Flower Fairy's new life will turn into a human form and come into the world. Ellie, Sophia, Jianwu, and Zille, the 4 girls got the explanation and felt that the mystery of life was really magical, and they were amazed by it. Su Lin's gaze was fixed with love on the fruit of love on the body of the fairy flower. Extend your fingers and touch lightly. At this moment, one can seem to clearly feel the blood thicker than water kinship surging forth. It was as if he could hear a new life calling him. His heartbeat seemed to speed up as if he was looking forward to everything in the future. It was a kind of affection that transcended all words, so thick that it almost suffocated him. He felt the power of the little life and also felt the deep dependence on him. A new life sprouted warm waves in his heart. Everyone in the family felt unprecedented happiness and joy, and their faces were filled with happiness. Chapter 173, Zundu Jayadu. The wedding room has been refreshed. Let's give our child a name. At this time, Mirabelle suggested. Su Lin thought for a moment. How's Xyroxian? This name made the 5 women present feel a little strange, because this is the child conceived by the Mirabelle fairy flower, so you named it Xyroxian for convenience. You're really bad at naming, Sophia complained. Or you can call me Xyoohua, Su Lin said seriously. The girls. Actually, Xyroxian is also pretty nice. AI Li Su Lin saved her dignity and said with a smile, it's a very fairy-like name. It can be used as a nickname for the baby. It's also good to call it affectionately in daily life. Although he is not good at naming, he is still the father of the child. Compared to a name like Xyoohua, Xyroxian seems much more noble. In response to this, the Yangyuo live broadcast room was also full of joy. Su Xyroxian. Although the baby's name is nice, when I think of God Su's last name, I can't help but think of Su Xian. Who is it that is telling me that my love for me will never change? Just for this sentence, aha, I will never regret it even if my heart is broken. The water of West Lake. My tears, tilde tilde, I would rather turn into a ball of flame with you, tilde tilde, ah tilde tilde, ah tilde tilde tilde. Why are you still singing? You guys have already said it all. What else can I say? This little fairy is not Su Xian. Don't make a big deal out of it. Be nice to Su Shen's baby and forgive Su Shen's naming skills. Spreading hands / helpless. JPG. Thunder Beast was even more fortunate. Fortunately, I asked Ellie to help me name myself Purple Thunder. Otherwise, according to Su Lin's personality, he would probably have named her Big Lay Zai, Little Beast Zai, BB Machine, or something like that. It makes people feel confused as soon as they hear it. It's a weird and frivolous name. In comparison, naming the child Xyroxian really took a lot of thought on Su Lin's part. Besides, this is the baby's nickname, so it's tentative. As for the baby's gender, Su Lin already knew it when he checked. She is a lovely girl. Su Lin bought a new small cotton jacket. This is cause for celebration. In the real world, since the revival of Yan country's spiritual energy, it has attracted the attention of countries all over the world. Global media reported continuously. Soon after, various countries took the initiative to contact Yan State, hoping to send delegations and researchers to Yan State to learn about the information about spiritual energy. Since the advent of matching games, humans have gained a general understanding of the gaming world. Whether it is a demon beast, a monster, or a player, they can become stronger through spiritual practice and master various extraordinary superpowers. As your strength increases, longevity comes as a byproduct. According to scientists' prediction, when spiritual energy is cultivated to a terrifying level, it may even be possible to achieve immortality. Even if it is just a prediction, it is not conclusive without relevant research evidence. But it also made countless people crazy. As for Yan country, because Su Lin had an heir, the system bestowed upon him the civilized marriage reward blessing of the flower fairy. Life expectancy increases by 10 years, physical and mental strength is enhanced, and there are signs of spiritual revival. It can be said that the entire Yan country is now a feng shui treasure land for human civilization. This unique aura is what all countries in the world dream of. For their request, the Yan state practiced Tai Kai, neither refuse nor agree. But every time I asked, he gave a lot of responses that seemed reasonable and convincing. But there is no actual valuable content. When it comes to beating around the bush, the Yan kingdom is indeed very good at it. It is also jokingly called the crystallization of wisdom left by our ancestors by many netizens. Recently, Su Lin's state can be described as full of energy and enthusiasm. After the child was born, his face was always filled with lasting joy. Even when fighting monsters in a random room, he always had a smiling face. With a smile on his face, he chopped with the knife. It scared some monsters. I thought I had met a perverted murderer, and how unlucky I was. Tonight I want to eat braised pork ribs, braised chicken racks, and dry fried fish. In the random room, just when Su Ling had just killed the monsters and was about to transform these sea-level beast bodies into seeds of life, Zai Lei, the purple-haired little lowly in the form of a thunder beastman, began to order food in a commanding tone. Do you want me to give you your favorite big mouthful of food? Su Lin glanced at her, then used the flower language technique to transform the monster's corpse into a seed of life and put it into his storage bracelet. In the past 2 days, The little telegraph machine has become more and more naughty. Do you really think that if you become a poor and vicious lowly, I won't have the heart to hit you just because you look cute? Unexpectedly, Zai Lei smiled evilly. Then he leaned closer to Su Lin, grinned, and lowered his voice. You don't want the mistresses to know what you did to me, right? Just think about it. If the mistresses knew that you couldn't help but attack your own spirit beasts when I just transformed that night, what would their expressions be? Zai Lei made a tusk sound, as if he had Su Lin under control. He looked very proud of himself, even more feminine than a female ghost. But the tone was like that of the yellow-haired character in a certain book, threatening. I don't dare to say anything about Tutu and Zio-Fi-Fi, but Mirabelle Tusk, she's a jealous person. Aren't you afraid that she will whip you with a whip? Zai Lei crossed her arms, raised her head, and looked down at Su Lin in a condescending manner. She was only 1.6 meters tall, shorter than Su Lin. I have the upper hand over you. Zai Lei moved forward and continued to threaten. So, you'd better listen to me otherwise. From beginning to end, Su Lin just looked at her quietly with a smile on his face. That's it, he looked disdainful. Isn't that enough? Hearing this, Zai Lei was somewhat surprised. But I didn't expect it. Su Lin turned from passive to active and took the lead in taking action towards her. What are you going to do? Didn't you just say that you have something on me? Su Lin said with a smile. I'll let you have enough leverage now. Ah, wait, I was just joking, don't get excited. Stop making noise, hurry up and pinch it. Woo woo tilde tilde da me tilde tilde. Su Lin, shit, still a Sakura loser. Where did you learn this, little thunder beast? Could it be that this guy has been eavesdropping? What? Finally, under Su Lin's tireless teaching, the thunder beast Zio Zile finally realized his mistake, crying like a pear blossom in the rain. Beast, she cursed. I'll make you braised pork tonight, Su Lin added. Enough. Is that fake? Zai Lei burst into laughter instantly. Don't act cute. Okay. What a little foodie. A meal of braised pork bought it, just when Su Lin brought the thunder beast back home. Suddenly, I noticed that the golden wedding room was glowing. The wedding room has been refreshed again. What? P.S. Please vote tilde tilde tilde. Please give me a reward tilde tilde tilde. Chapter 174. The red hair sinkhole reappears. The wedding room glows with a dazzling golden light. The light is rampant, shining on the furniture in the living room like flowing liquid, dyeing every corner like a magnificent dream scene. Su Lin had long been accustomed to this strange sight. Instead, used the cheat code to view the hidden information of the wedding room as soon as possible. The virtual panel that appeared before his eyes surprised him a little. Marriage partner information. Name Shendong. Race red-haired tribe. Grade B. Psionic energy 28,500. Features covered in red hair, dazed, exuding an ominous aura. Appearance sinkhole photo, JPG. Hint, the red hair tribe is a powerful race in a certain world. They are born with D-level strength and are all C-level when they grow up. But due to the special nature of their race, it is extremely difficult for them to find a partner. If you can resist her antithesis, she will definitely be your most powerful marriage partner. Red hair sinkhole. It's her again. After all, this is an old acquaintance of Su Lin. When he first entered the matchmaking game, the first matchmaking room was the red hair sinkhole. At that time, Su Lin looked at her photo in disbelief. As a result, I was made dazed by the weak restraint that came with it. As for now, Su Lin is already at B level, but judging from the photos, he is not affected by the red hair sinkhole's restraining system at all. In the photo, she seems to look better than before. The body is covered with thick, bright red hair, which gives it a shiny appearance. Sitting high above the abyss, with his back to eternity, he still looks invincible. Under a certain light, the bright red silk hair appears to be flowing. Only a pair of eyes were exposed, glowing red and exuding an incredibly powerful sense of oppression. I remember that when I first met her, her strength was still C-level. It's only been a month, and the red hair sinkhole has already reached B-level. Psionic energy value is 28,500, almost reaching the peak of B-level. Su Lin's strength improvement speed is comparable to riding a rocket. The other party was actually faster than him. This inevitably shocked Su Lin. Just then, he noticed a hidden hint below the marriage partner's information. The world where the red hair tribe's sinkhole is located has a different dimensional flow rate than the world of the marriage game. Since the last time the red hair tribe Shendong had something urgent to do and temporarily withdrew from the matchmaking game. A year has passed in the world where Shendong is located. Time passes. This seems like a scientific question, but also like a metaphysical question. The ancients said that one day in heaven is equal to 1 year on earth, which is not nonsense. The ancients simply didn't know the scale of time. From a scientific point of view, factors that affect time include gravity and speed. In the same galaxy, the speed of time flowing for stars in different orbits is also different. The closer to the central black hole, the slower the time passes or even stops. But some scientists believe that time is just a name given by humans and is just a method of calculation used to judge material consumption. What are you doing standing there like an idiot? Seeing him standing there in a daze, Zai gently pushed him. Nothing, I was thinking about Einstein's theory of relativity. Neuropathy gave Zai a slap on the face. Su Lin looked at the information about the red hair sinkhole and sighed. Even though a year had passed in her world, but he was able to break through from sea level to the top of B level. This speed really shows that he is gifted. And Su Lin noticed one more thing. If the partner in the marriage room has something to do, he or she can actually apply to withdraw. This is much more freedom than players have. But on the bright side, although players will lose their freedom once they board the pirate ship, they cannot even communicate with Earth. But the benefits of marrying a partner are equally huge. From this perspective, matchmaking games are quite biased towards the players. There are new sisters coming. Want to go in and take a look? At this time, the sound of the bridal chamber being refreshed attracted Ellie and other girls to come over. Hey, guess what race the new sister is and what she looks like? Mirabelle said angrily. There was a hint of jealousy in his words. The meaning is subtle but profound, perfectly reflecting her little temper. Ellie blushed and said expectantly, "How about we go in with you and take a look?" No, Su Lin refused without even thinking. You absolutely cannot go in. This red-haired monster has too strong a resistance, but its strength level has just reached the peak of B level. With Su Lin's current strength, he is capable of getting away with it unscathed. The three girls had just broken through to B level not long ago. If they were affected by the other party's characteristics, it would be very troublesome to deal with them. This indescribable racial characteristic can be described as a bug. In Su Lin's opinion, she was no less evil than the one with red makeup. You can't wait to spend time alone with her before we even get married. Mirabelle joked. Although she was laughing, her words were obviously filled with sorrow. This made Su Lin feel a little distressed. Actually, I had no intention of entering the marriage room. Su Lin looked at the girls with doting eyes and spoke gently. For now, I'd rather spend my time with you, my beautiful wife and my children. Su Lin's eyes were filled with affection. The sincere words lingered in the ears of the girls, and an inexplicable warmth arose from the bottom of their hearts. Although they are sometimes jealous and sometimes show their feminine thoughts, but they all share the same deep affection and selfless devotion for Su Lin. Mirabelle was no longer jealous. Her tone softened, and she, together with Ellie and Sophia, persuaded Su Lin to try going into the marriage room. After all, the more people there are, the more lively it is. A new partner can also help a lot around the home. What's more, once the marriage is successful, you can get a lot of system rewards. The benefits to improving strength are also significant. Unexpectedly, all of them were firmly rejected by Su Lin. Compared to a new partner, I value you in front of me more. Su Lin held Ellie and Mirabelle in each hand. As for Sophia, since his hands were not enough, he simply stepped on her feet. Jian Wu, who was standing silently by, was watching everything in front of him with envy. How I wish I could be like this, nestling in my master's arms. And when she was thinking this, the master and the three mistresses, who were deeply in love, had returned to the bedroom. Hey, stop being so nagging. Don't forget the braised pork you promised me. The moment the bedroom door closed, Zai Lei shouted hurriedly. Seeing Jian Wu in a daze again, he couldn't help but poke her. Little puppet, why are you starting to have wild thoughts? We're having braised pork tonight, be happy. She grinned with her cherry lips and smiled happily. In the random room, I asked Su Lin to clean the USB port of the small telegraph machine. I felt relaxed for a while and earned a big meal. It was worth it. Xiao Zile thought proudly. I don't need to eat. Jian Wu glanced at her indifferently, turned around and went back to his room. Coincidentally, her room was in the villa, right next to Zai Lei's room. Since Zai Lei transformed into a human form, Ellie also arranged a room for Zai Lei in the villa. But she prefers to live in the pet house near the lightning-struck tree. In her free time, she would lie on the soft, big bed in the room and take a short nap. Watching Jian Wu return to the room and lock the door, Zai Lei curled his lips and muttered quietly. This little slut is probably starting to satisfy herself again. Being cold and aloof ruins your life. If you really like it, just follow my example and search for it directly. Zai Lei shook his head. By some strange coincidence, the little habit of eavesdropping couldn't help but start to stir. She simply went back to her room and put her ears close to the wall. Unexpectedly, a sword blade pierced through the wall, almost touching her head. "What are you doing?" The sword was withdrawn, and from the entrance of the cave, the sound of sword dancing from the next room was heard. "Nothing, I'm just taking a walk," Zai Lei said angrily. You continue, I won't disturb you, I'm leaving Tilda. After saying that, he ran out of the villa in shame. A golden house or a silver nest is not as good as your own doghouse. Your own pet house is the safest. As for Jianwu, he frowned, thinking about what he had just heard from Zile. Go straight ahead. Maybe it's too reckless. If the mistress knew, how would she look at me? Oh, it's so annoying. Chapter 175, 2 new players appear. Siamese Noodle Kingdom. Late at night, exactly midnight. In the wedding room in the living room of Hongfeng Yuan Villa, the golden light gradually faded and became dim. The display is silent and cannot be turned on. Golden finger tip. The red hair tribe sinkhole has been rematched by the system. I just don't know which lucky person will choose me. As for the 4 random rooms that are refreshed, there are 3 rooms worth exploring. Unfortunately, they are all just sea-level monsters or materials. Su Lin was not in a hurry to explore. After all, it's time to get off work. The night is long, and he still has to play happily with his 3 wives. I sneaked out in the middle of the night to take a look, just to be cautious, worried that the red-haired man would not leave the cave. "You little pervert, please hurry up." Mirabelle's urging voice came from the bedroom. "Coming right up." After a moment of indescribable joy, Mirabelle whispered in his ear, smiling, "Why do I feel like you're a little nervous today?" "Is there? The reason you didn't enter the matchmaking room is because your partner this time doesn't suit your taste." Mirabelle pointed it out directly. Among all the women, she is the most sensitive. He can always see through Su Lin's little thoughts. If you see through something but don't say it out loud, you can still be friends. Su Lin remained non-committal and did not refute. Instead, Ellie and Sophia became interested. After some questioning, Su Lin stopped pretending and came clean. He told the 2 girls about his golden finger that could allow him to see hidden information. "Okay, you've been hiding something so important from me." There was a hint of coquettishness in Ellie's voice, and she pinched Su Lin's grapes. "No wonder you seem to have a third eye every time and can predict the situation of the random room in advance. So this is how it is." The feathers on Sophia's shoulders trembled, representing her thoughts flying and her enlightenment. "Actually, I didn't mention it before because I was worried that it might be discovered by the system and treated as a vulnerability fix." Su Lin explained, "Now that so much time has passed, it is basically confirmed that nothing will happen." Another added sentence, "Now this kind of privacy situation will be automatically blocked by the matchmaking game, and there is no need to worry about it being broadcast live and known to people in the real world. They are all your bedmates, and you understand each other's thoughts, so it doesn't hurt to tell them earlier. What's more, as time goes by, anyone with a discerning eye will find that Su Lin is not just lucky." Ellie pouted and complained a little aggrievedly. "I told you everything, but you kept it from me. Are you worried that I will gossip like a gossipress?" Sophia on the side immediately echoed, "That's right." "Okay, it's my fault. I apologize." Su Lin took Ellie in his arms. Then he waved to Sophia, who was standing beside him. He put his right hand around Sophia and pulled her close to him, and his left hand around Mirabelle's slender waist. "In the future, I will tell you every decision I make. This is a promise I made." "Hey, be gentle." Ai Li lay on Su Lin, blushing. "I'm still pregnant." 1 month into her pregnancy, her belly was slightly bulging. The gestation time of the rabbit people is similar to that of humans, taking about 10 months. Not all races are as special as the flower fairies. "Don't worry, your husband knows what's going on." Su Lin took the initiative to kiss Ellie's lips. "This time, I'll let you see how clever I am." After saying that, Su Lin teased gently. This night was another exciting and passionate night. The next day, noon. In the real world, 2 new players enter the marriage game. The first is a player from Siam, who is in his early 20s and has a pretty face. His name is Shachu. At this moment, there was a look of relief on his face. Since the first Siamese player, Chach, was attacked by the mist skeleton and died with his elephant man partner, Siam was attacked by a 300,000-strong skeleton army. Afterwards, the performances of the second and third players were very disappointing. Siam suffered 3 disasters in succession, and the country was in chaos. There are not enough soldiers. The Siamese royal family even ordered all young and middle-aged men between the ages of 18 and 40 in the country to join the army. Siam already had laws requiring compulsory military service. This law now raises the age limit by 10 years. The normal age is 18 to 30. In peacetime, many Siamese citizens tried every means to escape military service. Some people would rather undergo sex change surgery than do the damn military service. This is very different from the enthusiasm of the Yan people, who are willing to join the army. After all, the bullying phenomenon in the Siamese military camp is well known throughout the world. Today, Siam is facing internal and external troubles and is in crisis on every side. After joining the army and receiving simple training, they are directly sent to the front line as cannon fodder, with an extremely high mortality rate. Shachu hid here and there, but was finally found by the Siamese authorities. Without giving him a chance to talk, they took him away and escorted him to the barracks. He wasn't even given the chance to castrate himself. Unexpectedly, just as he was sent to the barracks, he was chosen for the matchmaking game. It's hard to say whether this is a blessing or a curse. Shachu found the initial player benefits in the kitchen, bread and mineral water, and ate them up voraciously. Thinking back to when he first entered the barracks, he felt a lingering fear when the group of veterans looked at him with ambiguous eyes. Fortunately, I was lucky. Otherwise, I would have been locked up by a group of strong men tonight. 1 day of novice period. No, it's half a day. You must find a partner and open a random room before the door refreshes at midnight. Shachu was in a dilemma. Never mind, just stay here for now. It's comfortable for a while. After eating and drinking, Shachu burped beautifully. He doesn't have any pursuits or big ambitions. He just wants to live a good life. I escaped from military service like a thief and haven't had a good rest these days. So I simply returned to the original wooden house bedroom and had a good sleep. Seeing this miserable state, many Siamese people gritted their teeth and hated the company for not fighting back, but they could do nothing about it. As for the other player, he is from the northern part of the country. He is in his 40s, and his name is Wu Henry. Unlike the vast majority of Chinese people living below the poverty line, Henry Wu wears designer suits and a watch worth tens of thousands of dollars. He is slightly plump and looks like he is living a life of luxury. In fact, Wu is not his last name. Instead, it comes from the culture of the country of Mayan. Adding the word Wu before a man's name is a respectful title which can be understood as sir, uncle, and the like. Wu Henry is the boss of a certain group, which appears to be a normal business. In secret, they do some despicable and unethical things that are not worthy of being made public. It involves a wide range of businesses, such as trafficking, fraud, kidnapping, extortion, gambling, etc. In simple terms, they are professional kidney cutters. An absolute scum, a villain born into a poor family and raised by a bad mother. As long as it's not human affairs, he will do it all. His reputation was even known in Yan country. Chapter 176. This is the northern part of the country, where the red-haired people are rampant. Wu Henry's figure was clearly visible on the live broadcast screen. He habitually fiddled with his watch, looking defiant and conceited. As soon as the footage was released, there was a wave of surprise in the Mayan Gyut live broadcast room. Wu Henry is a very famous person in his native country. Some of the Chinese people who knew him visually expressed strong fear when they saw him, and they didn't even dare to speak, because they know that this man's evil nature cannot be concealed by his superficial success and wealth. The audience from Yan country who heard the news reacted particularly strongly. Although I have never seen him in person, I have heard of this dude through media exposure. And when I think of the countless evil deeds he has been involved in, I am filled with indignation and anger. I thought it was just a little thief, but it turned out to be our old hideout. When will this Henry Wu die? This BYD is a bastard. His company has harmed many of my Yan country compatriots. He disappeared a few months ago. I thought he was arrested, but I didn't expect him to be still alive and well. Such a scum would benefit society if he died. Don't let him harm people anymore. Because the country of Mayan is too poor, not much oil can be squeezed out. Therefore, some local criminal groups will set their sights on the neighboring Yan state. But he did a lot of harm to the ignorant people of Yan state. No money at home. It doesn't matter, just stay. If you can commit telecom fraud, do it. If you don't do your job well, you will be dragged away to have your kidneys cut. Human beings are treasures from head to toe. All kinds of organs can be sold for a lot of money. Once upon a time, people even spent money to buy traffic on the short video platform of Yan Country and hired internet celebrities to shoot promotional videos such as, "This is the northern part of Mayan country. Delicate little princess. Welcome to my world." It really deceived many people to travel to the country and check in. I also heard that it is easy to find a job in the country, with good benefits, high salaries and little work, which has attracted some young and middle-aged people with limited funds to go there. Facts have once again proved that although IQ seems to be something that everyone possesses, in fact, many people have a pig's brain on their neck. This has nothing to do with age or experience. No one can save someone from being born stupid. They won't listen to others' earnest advice, and even if you present all kinds of evidence and facts, they always have a lucky mentality. I would rather sneak across the border and try my luck in the country. It's really hard to persuade that damn ghost with kind words. As for the hopeless idiot, the Yan people feel sorry for his misfortune and angry at his stupidity. There has been a steady stream of condemnation against the main culprit, Henry Wu. The Yan country audience expressed their hatred and disgust for this villain in the most direct way. Now, amid the curses of thousands of people, Henry Wu slowly pushed open the door to the bridal chamber. This is a high mountain abyss, isolated from the world. Only the suspended rocks and the suddenly collapsing cliffs resonated. The roaring waterfall pours down slowly from the mountains, creating a spectacular sight. The sky is like an abyss, deep and dark. A few sparse stars twinkled among them, and the cold light formed a sharp contrast with the darkness. This view is quite nice. Wu Henry looked at everything around him and smiled in admiration. As for the danger, he had been doing well for more than 40 years and was like a local tyrant in the northern part of the country. It made him feel from the bottom of his heart that he was the son of destiny. Besides, he probably understood the rules of the matchmaking game. No matter how ugly or weird your partner is, you can just grit your teeth and get along with him, her. It's not a difficult thing. If the other person is of a strange race, you can use your eloquence to calm the other person down and then escape. For a criminal lord like Henry Wu, lying and cheating is as easy as eating and drinking. You have entered the marriage room and can choose to be a partner with the red-haired woman, Chendong. The system prompt suddenly appeared. The red hair tribe. If we understand the literal meaning, does this mean that this race is covered with red hair? It's not impossible. Wu Henry felt relieved. I'm just worried about the other person's personality. Hope it's someone you can get along with. With complicated thoughts in his mind, Wu Henry suddenly had an idea and immediately looked up at the mountain above his head. The live camera also zoomed in following his line of sight. The scarlet light and shadow hovering above the abyss of the sky flickered, as if it was breathing. She exudes a powerful and chaotic aura, as if she is the master of this abyss. Bite detected the uncontrollable power of the red hair tribes, Sinkhole, invading the spirit. The current system automatically blocks this power pollution from the live broadcast of the wedding. That's right, all the spectators who were watching and witnessing this scene were not affected at all. At the same time, I was wondering what this red-haired sinkhole was. Power can be mapped from the game world to reality. This situation happened last time in Su Lin's live broadcast room, when he encountered the Mind Eroder incident. In an instant, the sleeping red-haired sinkhole was awakened by the appearance of Wu Henry. She opened her eyes. The moment I glanced at Henry Wu, the powerful aura of oppression was so strong that even a criminal tycoon like him couldn't help but feel an irresistible fear. Wu Henry's eyes widened instantly. Suddenly, he felt an indescribable force entering his body, eroding his mind. An irrational and crazy emotion arose in his heart, and Wu Henry couldn't help but start roaring and tearing his hair and face frantically. Ugh! In an instant, Henry Wu's skin began to change color. Soon, his entire body began to be covered with red hair. His face was distorted beneath his hair, and his cries of pain echoed in the abyss. As the hair grew rapidly, Wu Henry's body began to be unable to withstand this change. Cracks began to appear on the surface of his body, blood mixed with hair, and his body exploded and deformed in pain. Boom tilde. In the live broadcast, a mist of blood splattered everywhere, looking pale and strange. Wu Henry's screams came to an abrupt end, as his body was completely blown apart by the red hair, becoming a bloody mess that was difficult to identify. For his miserable condition, red-haired Chendong simply withdrew his gaze, closed his eyes again, and fell asleep just like at the beginning. However, it seemed that the aura around her was even stronger. Even though she never opened her mouth, it was this silent indifference and extremely strong sense of solemnity that caused an extremely deep shock to everyone watching the live broadcast. Due to the death of the player, Wu Henry, from the Mayan country, the civilization of that country will be subject to targeted punishment in 10 minutes. I hope everyone will take this as a warning. 10 minutes passed. The audience present were still in shock, shaken beyond words by the powerful threat of the red hair sinkhole. But the punishment announcement for the matchmaking game arrived as promised. In view of the death of the player, Wu Henry, from the opposite country, targeted punishment is now being imposed on the civilization of that country. The punishment is unspeakable red hair. Location, northern part of the country. Explanation. In the northern part of the Mayan kingdom, all the Mayan kingdom people will be infected by the power of the red hair tribe. The punishment instructions were brief, but the ending was extremely tragic. This means that the people in the northern part of the country will die tragically like Wu Henry. P.S. As expected, the Japanese eventually discharged the nuclear wastewater. Anti-human birth behavior. If you want to see how to deal with the Japanese devils, please like and sign up, and we will arrange it immediately. Chapter 177. Half-human, half-insect Gaba, who resembles the style of the evil god. The system's announcement sounded like the announcement of doom, making people feel helpless and hopeless. In an instant, facing the country in the north, a strange howling wind blew violently across the cold land. It sounded like the horn of death being blown. People in the northern part of the country began to experience physical changes. Bright red hair gradually appeared all over the body, spreading out without paying attention to anything around it, as if a strange blanket was covering the surface of the body. As the hair grew more, their eyes widened and they twisted their bodies in pain. Fear and despair alternated in their eyes. The unspeakable pain was clearly evident in their expressions. Suddenly, screams of pain rang out one after another. The blood vessels and muscles of the people covered in red hair were like balloons that were too full, bursting with a loud bang, and blood and flesh flew everywhere. Lives were extinguished like candle flames by the wind, and the bloody scene was like a ghost reappearing, and a nightmare turned into reality. Fortunately, the system's punishment is just as described, targeting only the native people in the northern region of the country. It is not contagious like the zombie crisis incident in the United States. Otherwise, it would be terrible. Ambassadors from various countries stationed in the region were the first to contact the media and broadcast these images to domestic social platforms. It has attracted widespread attention and strong reactions around the world. The scenes in the picture are cruel and horrifying, but for the Yan people, this is more like a satisfying revenge. For many years, the northern part of Mayan country has been cheating Yan country, disregarding humanity and morality, causing countless Yan people to suffer and suffer heavy losses. Seeing that they suffered the same punishment for the death of Wu Henry, many Yan people released some of their resentment. I think this is the thugs reaping the fruits of their own actions, and it is also the due retribution for their crimes in the northern part of the opposite country over the years. Karma will always pay off. It's your own fault. Yan country can't deal with you, but the marriage game won't tolerate any bad habits of yours. The feeling of revenge dominated for a while, but some people also emphasize humanitarian sentiments. I think we cannot generalize. Although the northern part of the country is notorious, there are definitely many kind-hearted people. Isn't it too pitiful to be beaten to death with just one stick? In response to this, many Yan-Gu netizens responded. You don't feel sorry for yourself. Your parents who worked so hard to raise you, your compatriots who are suffering, and a bunch of scum who might cut off your kidneys. Stockholm Syndrome, right? Of course it's possible, but I don't dare to bet on it. Just like the Japanese devils, even if there are good people in their country, can we forgive them for the heinous crimes they committed? Humans are social animals after all. You have to admit that stereotypes always exist. If a Yan countryman commits a crime abroad, the foreigners who have come into contact with him will think that all Yan countrymen are like this. The same principle applies. The topic of the face country even made it to the hot search list of Yan country. This led to different controversies, sparking discussions among netizens. And in the world of marriage games, Red Maple Courtyard Villa. Su Lin just finished playing 3 random rooms and returned home. Received a private message from Albert. Informs Su Lin that Gaba has awakened from the breaking out of the cocoon state. Strength reaches the top of sea level, psychic energy value, 3,000. Moreover, Gaba himself has also undergone a tremendous transformation. Albert sent a photo directly. Gaba photo JPG. In the photo, Gaba's lower body is still in the state of slime worm. However, the upper body has become humanoid. Perhaps it was because when he resurrected Gaba, he absorbed a lot of life seeds from the spider demon clan, which brought about the transformation. The fair skin is like high-quality porcelain with a warm luster. Her long golden hair fell down in disorder, falling on her shoulders, sparkling with a dazzling light like the sun. She has a lovely face and her eyes are like a blue lake, bright and deep. She always looks innocent, curious, and cute. Her innocent and natural temperament is irresistible. A totally natural and cute girl. Is this the caterpillar I encountered in the random room of Ancient House Ghost last time? Xylay came closer, his tone sounding slightly suspicious. Unexpectedly, this caterpillar could transform into human form at sea level. Although it has only transformed halfway, it is already considered a great talent among monsters. Albert is so lucky now, Xylay exclaimed in amazement. What blessing? Su Lin looked at Gaba in the photo. His lower body still retained the original form of the slime insect clan. Even if it was used for a ceremony, it would be a bit awkward, right? Maybe Albert likes that. Xylay smiled mischievously. Besides, even if the lower body cannot be used, there is still the upper body that can be used, such as Suo, Xingla hands, armpits, and... Stop it, Su Lin patted her head. Stop it, don't be so ridiculous. Xylay made a tusk sound. I thought, why are you pretending to be a gentleman? You have used all the things I just mentioned on me. Gaba's transformation is indeed a good thing. This kind of talent that can continue to evolve is actually amazing. As long as you don't fail halfway, your future achievements will be limitless. Somehow, looking at Gaba's photo reminded Su Lin of a cartoon he had accidentally watched before. The Evil God in The Evil God and the Cooking Illness. The former is an insect, and the latter is a snake. Moreover, there is a huge difference in personality between the two. All in all, Gaba's current appearance is quite likable. Chatted with Albert for a while. Finally, he presented a dozen third-level talismans to repay his previous debt. After learning that Su Lin's strength level had reached B grade, Albert could hardly hide his shock. Question, do you want to open the Issa Chaos? Copy recently. Private chat, Su Lin. Let's wait a little longer, there's no rush. After all, the enemy is a B-level existence, and the difficulty coefficient is relatively high. Without full preparation, Su Lin does not intend to participate. Private chat, Albert. Okay, Mr. Su, you go ahead. The chat ended immediately. Su Lin realized it later, and then he thought about whether he should send some gifts to congratulate Gaba on his transformation. When he opened the friend page again, the system prompted that Albert was in the middle of a marriage ceremony and was not online. My goodness, this guy is really impatient. This is also the reason why Su Lin was unwilling to give Albert access to view information. It would be fine if you were adventuring in a random room. The system will prompt your friend is in a random room. If the ceremony is performed with a partner, it will appear as shown above. Otherwise, if Albert saw it, Su Lin was performing rituals for almost 20 hours out of 24 hours a day. How strange it would be. However, Su Lin still gave him a sea-level seed of life on the chat page, with a brief message of congratulations, which Albert would be able to see later. Chapter 178, The Mysterious Alchemist Rollins. As the midnight bell drew closer, the Siamese player Shachu looked more and more nervous. After eating and drinking and having a good sleep, his energy and spirit were indeed restored a lot. But when he calmed down, he suddenly realized a serious problem. You must not let it go. Otherwise, once you miss the novice period, you may be punished by being burned by fire. At the very least, you have to marry a partner. This is the conclusion that our predecessors have verified with their lives. Time is putting pressure on Shachu. Time passed, and in the blink of an eye, it was already 11:00 at night. In another hour, both the marriage-matched rooms and the random rooms will be refreshed. If he doesn't take action, it means that he will be wiped out by the system. It was like a death talisman forcing him. Shachu hesitated for a moment, but had to get up and walk towards the marriage room. Take a few deep breaths. With a feeling of uneasiness, Shachu pushed open the door of the wedding room in front of him that was emitting golden light. Golden light blooms. He opened his eyes again and looked around. Shachu seemed to enter an ancient castle. The whole body is made of stone material, which is natural and has a long history. Torches hung upside down on the walls, lighting up the corridors filled with a historic atmosphere. Dust was floating on the high ceiling. The overall look has a unique nostalgic tone. A sudden inspiration came to his mind, and Shachu walked along the corridor into the depths of the castle. At the end of the corridor, there was a high-quality mahogany door that was ajar. At this moment, the system prompt finally sounded. You have entered the marriage room and can choose to marry the alchemist, Rollins. Alchemist, not another race but a profession. This seems to be the first time I have seen such a situation. What an unexpected identity. Shachu nervously reached out his hand towards the seemingly heavy mahogany door in front of him. It is dotted with exquisite wood carvings and delicate metal decorations, and feels painted. Slowly pushing open the door, a unique smell mixed with old leather, camphor oil, and unknown chemicals hit me in the face. Shachu looked carefully. The room inside looked like some kind of laboratory, but the style is closer to the European Middle Ages. The spacious stone space is filled with various ancient experimental instruments. The wall candles cast flickering shadows on the stone walls. On the shelves on both sides of the wall, there are various glass bottles filled with colorful, mysterious liquids. There is also a huge alchemy furnace in the corner of the room, surrounded by various unknown materials and ores. Is anyone there? Shachu spoke tentatively, and just at this moment, he suddenly heard a noise. The sound came from the alchemy furnace. Under Shachu's gaze, the furnace door suddenly opened, and a wave of heat hit him, making him unable to help but take a few steps back and subconsciously cover his cheeks with his hands. This alchemist named Rollins seems to be using himself as a material for alchemy. So strange. Shachu half closed his eyes and vaguely saw that the other person was a human figure. He subconsciously breathed a sigh of relief. I don't know if it's an illusion. With the appearance of Rollins, Shachu actually felt a chilly aura spreading, which was even more chill than the temperature brought by the burning fire. Bang tilde. The alchemy furnace door was gently closed by Rollins. I'm sorry, I was just working and didn't pay attention to God's revelation. Rollins' voice sounds like that of a gentle middle-aged man. Male, it's not impossible. As a Siamese, Shachu took this matter very lightly. The moment you put down your hands and open your eyes. Just about to speak, but suddenly he stopped. The man in front of him was wearing a black cloak, but underneath the wide cloak, he looked like a skeleton without a single piece of flesh and blood on his body. The black cloak hung low on his compact frame, like a giant bird fluttering in the night, hiding his unique figure among its feathers. In the empty eye sockets, 2 balls of faint blue flames burned, like a deep galaxy. Skull. Shachu was shocked by Rollins' appearance. After all, the first disaster crisis facing their Siamese kingdom was the fall of 300,000 skeleton soldiers from the sky, brought unimaginable terror to the Siamese people. Shachu himself was particularly afraid of this. She even thought about castrating herself and becoming a Shemil, rather than responding to the royal call to join the army to fight these skeleton monsters. You can avoid the first day, but you can't avoid the 15th. I never expected that I would be so unlucky. The companion in the marriage room turned out to be a skeleton. In panic, Shachu stepped back, accidentally fell to the ground and screamed. The noise made Rollins rub his skull. I'm sorry I scared you. In fact, I was once a human like you, but something happened that turned me into what I am now. The voice of alchemist Rollins seemed to come from the depths of a 1,000-year-old tomb, giving people an extremely vicissitudes of life feeling. Gradually, as Rollins explained, Shachu saw that the other party really had no ill intentions, and his initial impression gradually changed. Gradually relaxed his vigilance, Rollins took a glass bottle only a dozen centimeters high from the wooden shelf and handed it to Shachu. I see that you don't seem to be in good physical condition, as if you haven't had a good rest for several days. Drink this, it will relieve your fatigue. Hearing this, Shachu became alert again. Then he looked carefully, and the system prompt suddenly appeared in front of him. Physical strength recovery potion. Type medicine. Rating rare. Quality blue. Features highly efficient recovery of physical strength. I never expected that this seemingly inconspicuous small medicine bottle actually contains a rare potion. Rollins only made one move, and this kind of tyrant behavior greatly shocked Shachu. The system prompts will not be wrong. Shachu drank it with confidence. Just a small sip instantly dispelled all his fatigue and filled him with energy. Said thanks. Shachu has developed a certain liking for Rollins. At least you won't panic because of the other person's skeleton appearance. Then Shachu became interested in the revelation from God mentioned by Rollins. After some inquiries, I found out that it was a misunderstanding. Matching game. After explaining the reason, Rollins was slightly shocked. You're saying that the so-called gods are nothing more than a game played by supernatural forces on the humans of your world. Rollins muttered to himself, as if overturning his original worldview. He smiled at himself. Then he looked at Sha Chu and said gently, "Can you tell me more about it? I am very interested in this." After a few interactions, Sha Chu gradually became familiar with Rollins, looking curiously at the bottles and jars on the wooden shelves. Most of them are of rare grade. Only a small number are of excellent grade. There are even a few red bottles that are of epic quality. It was beyond Sha Chu's imagination. This time I really found a treasure. Sha Chu was secretly happy, relieved, but also a little sad. It's a pity that Mr. Rollins is a skeleton. I don't know if I can perform the marriage ceremony with him. He didn't feel much psychological pressure because the other person was a man. It's just a headache. How will the marriage ceremony continue? Do I have to use the other person's bones and put them inside myself? Oh, that's strange. Chapter 179, Selfish, Indifferent and Cruel. With a nervous heart, Sha Chu confided his concerns to Rollins. After all, both are male. Moreover, from Rollins's mouth, we learned that it has been a long time since he transformed into his current skeleton form. Whether it is possible to successfully complete the marriage ceremony and form a couple does involve some technical difficulties. After Rollins heard this, the blue flames burning in the skull's eye sockets flickered a few times. It's a small matter. His tone was understated. Then he stretched out his narrow and cold bone claws and grabbed Sha Chu's shoulder. Immediately afterwards, an invisible force quietly penetrated into Sha Chu's body. No need to panic. I have been studying the human body for hundreds of years. I won't hurt you at all. Roland's gentle and confident words relaxed Sha Chu's tense nerves. At Roland's urging, between the two people, their minds seemed to begin to intertwine. It is a kind of communication that transcends the flesh and belongs to the soul. Blending, this unprecedented novel experience made Sha Chu feel like he had entered a whole new world. Sha Chu's eyes gradually became blurred, and his consciousness became confused. But that kind of strong feeling, layer upon layer, is as surging as the waves of the ocean and cannot be expressed in words. Similar to the inner touch of bliss in the Buddha's corner. Until, Sha Chu shuddered, and then his eyes became clear again. I looked at the time. Less than a minute had passed, but that feeling is something Sha Chu will never forget. And at this moment, the system's broadcast sounded. When the golden wind and jade do meet, it is better than countless things in the world. Congratulations to Siamese player, Sha Chu, and alchemist Rollins for successfully completing the marriage ceremony. You have received the following rewards. Talent, life maintenance, B. Your life will be closely linked to your partner, Rollins. As long as Rollins survives, your lifespan will not reach its limit. And with the talent of life maintenance, you will not be affected by hunger or disease. Skill, spiritual link, purple. Your spiritual power will be enhanced, and you can communicate with your partner Rollins's spirit. You can even borrow Rollins's spiritual power to enhance your attack methods. However, using this skill will also show your spiritual world to Rollins without omission, and deeply bind you to Rollins's will. Spiritual Yuan Dan B X10, Charm +5. It turned out to be a B-level reward. Doesn't this mean that this gentle and friendly skeleton wearing a cloak is at a B level? This is currently the highest level of partner strength in the world of marriage games. Even the strongest player, Su Lin, has only just broken through to B level. Talent, life-sustaining. This indirectly solved the problem of Sha Chu's lack of food and water in the marriage world. Only Rollins is immortal, and Sha Chu himself can even break the limit of human lifespan. In a sense, this is a kind of eternal life, because, according to him, this alchemist in skeleton form has survived for hundreds of years. The life energy is extremely powerful. Living another few hundred years won't be a problem. As for the purple skill, Mental Link, although it has a minor flaw, it means that if Sha Chu tries to use this skill, all the secrets and everything in his heart will be exposed to Rollins without reservation. But for Sha Chu, this is just a small problem. He even felt that this skill made it easier for him and Rollins to experience the indescribable inner bliss together. It's so cool. Even the people of Siam were amazed at Sha Chu's good luck. They never expected that this deserter, coward, sissy, and good-for-nothing who was not favored by them would have such luck. He was at his peak from the start, taking off in one go, even stronger than Su Lin from Yan country. What a shit luck. As for the subsequent civilization marriage rewards, Before issuing the funds, the system asked Shachu as usual whether to set a threshold. If this step is skipped, it will be distributed to all citizens of Siam by default. This reminded Sha Chu. He gritted his teeth and said, "Except for the royal family of Siam, the nobles, and the barracks, everyone else will be given." Ever since the incident of 300,000 skeleton soldiers falling from the sky, Siam's series of actions have completely caused it to lose the support of the people. The powerful officials did nothing and continued to do as they pleased, even embezzling the money that was meant for disaster prevention. The bandits' mistakes are like combing, the soldiers' mistakes are like rakes, and the supervisor's mistakes are like shaving. All these behaviors made Sha Chu dislike them. I even wish they would die sooner. Setting successful, Siamese player Shachu is happily married and the whole world is celebrating. Now we are issuing marriage rewards to Siamese civilization. The people of Siam gain health plus 20, constitution plus 8, spirit plus 8, selfishness plus 20, indifference plus 15, cruelty plus 10, charm plus 0.5. Those who do not meet the players, Sha Chu, set threshold will not be rewarded. The moment the global broadcast sounded, the Siamese citizens immediately put down what they were doing. We were all ready to cheer and celebrate, but our joy came to an abrupt end when we saw the information of all the entries. The first three terms, health, physique, and spirit, are all easy to talk about. Positive entry, easy to understand. But the last three, selfishness, indifference, cruelty, it was like a heavy dark cloud suddenly covering the clear sky. It's puzzling. You know, the matchmaking game rewards players or their countries. They all have a deep connection with their partners. Just like when a player dies, the system will give targeted punishment to the civilization based on the way the player died. The rewards also have this targeted effect. Selfishness, indifference, cruelty. Is this really what Mr. Rollins, who seems harmless and friendly to people, can bring? The Siamese people were extremely confused. But then, the reward for civilized marriage was instantly distributed to all citizens, except the Siamese royal family, officials, and barracks. The doubt and worry in their eyes suddenly turned into indifference. Who cares? Anyway, I got the real benefits. What does Shachu's life or death have to do with me? Humph, you should just be happy to have a powerful partner like Rollins. Damn it, why can't I even have a full meal after working so hard without complaint? Those damn nobles and royal family members do nothing all day long, but they can just sit back and enjoy the fruits of their labor without worrying about food and clothing. What's wrong with the royal family? Aren't they human beings too? I'm also a human being. Why should they order me around? If you dare to dethrone the emperor, you might as well rebel. Rebellion, rebellion. But you have to lead the charge first. After all, I am just an ordinary citizen. I don't even have a gun. The most important thing is my life. Your life is as cheap as grass. How much is it worth? My life is the most important. So your family upstairs is quite rich, hee. The facts prove it once again. It is so important for players to choose a good partner. The current situation in Siam is even more exaggerated than the impact that Albert brought to England after choosing Spider-Woman. Chapter 180. Rollins's True Identity, Clues to the Remaining Pages of the Book of the Dead. Wedding Room. Castle Alchemy Room. Shachu was also puzzled by the entry on the civilized marriage reward. Ask a tentative question. I saw Mr. Rollins in front of me sighing with melancholy. In fact, I have been cursed by the undead for so many years. He lifted his large cloak, revealing the skeleton that was hidden behind it. Perhaps this is the reason why it has brought negative impacts to your country. Rollins felt very sorry for this. He even leaned forward and apologized to Sha Chu solemnly. Sha Chu was flattered by this gesture. Rollins is a B-level powerhouse after all. Just moving your fingers could easily crush him to death. But it is indeed very touching to see such courtesy shown to Sha Chu, who is so weak. For so many years, I have been looking for a way to break the curse. Rollins spoke slowly, with a hint of smile in his tone. Although, after trying countless times, I still haven't found a way to solve the curse. But fortunately, with the willpower I have cultivated over hundreds of years, I am able to resist the negative effects of the curse. It will not change my original character. After hearing this explanation, Shachu's mood improved a lot. He quickly spoke to comfort her. He promised with a pat on his chest that in such a magical place as the matchmaking game, he would definitely help you find a way to resolve the curse. Mr. Rollins. After chatting, Sha Chu said a little embarrassedly, "Can you let me experience the feeling just now again?" He was addicted to the wonderful inner joy of the intertwining of minds and the resonance of souls. Oh, the faint blue flame in Roland's eyes flickered slightly. He nodded as a sign of agreement. However, if you want to experience a deeper level of wonderful feeling, you might as well use the skills you have acquired. The experience will be better. Hearing this, Shachu agreed without thinking, even though they are both men. But Shachu, who grew up in Siam and was influenced by Siamese culture, had no aversion to this. Besides, this kind of inner joy of the soul is more Plato-like than Plato, and there is no psychological resistance at all. After a lot of trial and error, Shachu finally found the correct way to use the skills. Spiritual connection start. Roland's bone claws also rested on Shachu's shoulders, allowing him to experience the pleasure of inner touch again. At the same time, everything that Shachu had experienced in his life was displayed to Roland's without reservation through the connecting channel, like a passing show. He was deeply immersed in the state of enjoying the present life without thinking of the present. In an instant, Roland's used his powerful mental power to receive all of Shachu's memories. This is how we learned about the Earth, got general information about other countries, marriage game, players from all over the world, watching the live broadcast from Shachu, and learning about the players' experiences and situations. Roland's also had a general understanding of the settings of the matchmaking game. Spiritual power. He took out the bottle of 10 Lingyuan pills, rewarded by the system from Shachu's body. Take one out, hold it in your hand, and look at it carefully. The scent emitted by the elixir is refreshing and has a huge appeal to Roland's. No wonder I haven't made any progress in all these years. It turns out that what I lack is spiritual power. Roland's muttered, spiritual power, this good thing, does not exist in the world he lives in. So after obtaining the treasure by chance, he began to study mysticism and learn alchemy. Years of constant experimentation, combined with that treasure, allowed him to find another shortcut, discover the hypothesis of life, energy from the human body. In practice, it has been proven feasible. This made Roland's the only practitioner in this medieval era, similar to Europe. He also admired his own wisdom and was proud of his discoveries. But judging from Shachu's memory, Roland's cultivation speed is still too slow for a world without spiritual power. It took him more than 200 years to reach his current B-level strength. However, the B-grade, Lingyuan pill in front of him could save him decades of time. Roland's, who knew the levels of the cultivation system, estimated that swallowing these 10 Lingyuan pills would allow him to break through to level B instantly. Wait, this is... At this moment, Roland suddenly found something incredible from Shachu's memory. That was the live broadcast footage that Shachu watched before he became a player. A handsome young man with short black hair and great charm, with a beautiful woman with golden wings, in the swamp fighting against a huge skeleton monster. From Shachu's memory, Roland's learned that the young man was called Su Lin, a Yan people, and the other one was his partner, Sophia, a winged people. At this time, I was leaving my home and fighting the swamp monster in the misty swamp. Roland's attention was mainly focused on the black light coming out of the chest of the skeletal swamp monster. That is the Book of the Dead. Even an old monster like Roland's, who had survived for hundreds of years, couldn't help but feel shocked at this moment. There were blue flames in the skull's eye sockets, beating violently as if they were about to jump out of the eye sockets, indicating that Roland's was not at peace. Yes, that's right. The treasure that Roland's obtained was a piece of black parchment, the remaining pages of the Book of the Dead. He thereby gained powers approaching immortality. It can transform itself into an undead and possess all kinds of incredible and powerful powers. Ambition also began to grow. With his skill, he showed his miracle, recruited a bunch of fanatical believers, started a war, and occupied a country. During this period, he continued to study the power of the remaining pages of the Book of the Dead. Combined with alchemy, he conducted cruel experiments on countless people. Finally, he discovered that he could use human life to replace spiritual power and become stronger. Over the years, he has tried every possible means to complete the Book of the Dead. However, all the searches were in vain. Roland's finally understood that in the world he lived in, the only remaining page of the Book of the Dead was the one in his hand. But now, ever since he received the revelation from God and came to the marriage game, the whereabouts of the Book of the Dead was discovered from this inconspicuous Shachu. Roland's focused all his attention on Su Lin. Then, when Roland saw Su Lin obtain the second torn page of the Book of the Dead from the Random Room Weird Wax Museum, his eyes almost turned red. This player from Yan country is really lucky. In just over a month, I have gone from a mere mortal to a B level. This is equivalent to my 200 years of hard training. Rollins laughed strangely, but when I think about establishing a partnership with Sha Chu now, I will officially enter the world of marriage games. It is very likely that I will meet Su Lin in the future. He smiled even more happily. He looked at her again with an intoxicated expression, drooling from the corners of his mouth, immersed in the sand of paradise. Rollins sneered. Then, without any hesitation, he swallowed the Lingyuan pills one by one. A few minutes later, as expected, his strength level broke through to level B. The sound of the breakthrough also awakened Sha Chu. He opened his eyes blankly. I saw that all the Lingyuan pills had been eaten by Rollins. I couldn't help feeling a little annoyed. Please at least leave one for me. After all, I'm just a newbie who's not even at E-level now. How come you ate them all secretly while I was immersed in it? Sha Chu was about to say something, but at this moment, Rollins was too lazy to continue pretending. Pa Tilde. He snapped his fingers. Sha Chu's eyes suddenly became blank. He stood there in a daze, like a piece of wood, at the mercy of Rollins. Let's go back to our homeland. Rollins waved his hand, and Sha Chu followed him obediently like a puppet. This was the trick that Rollins secretly used when he came into contact with Sha Chu before. With his B-level strength, it is too easy for him to plot against a weakling with no brains and no strength. What's more, after the marriage ceremony is successful, the talents and skills rewarded to Sha Chu by the system are more like an assist, allowing Rollins to control Sha Chu more conveniently and easily. If it weren't for this, if you want to get into the matchmaking game, you still need the players themselves. Given Rollins' personality, he would have probably sacrificed Sha Chu's blood by now. At this moment, Rollins, who was eager to gain power, finally left this barren world, and the scene that no one saw. Outside the castle, the white bones were scattered on the ground, piled up like a mountain. A foul stench wafted through the air, the sickening smell of life's decay, revealing traces of the past. Looking closer, it is even more miserable. Those pairs of empty eye sockets seem to be telling you about the miserable experiences they have experienced. On this white land strewn with bones, the wind blew, bringing with it waves of cold, hard bones rubbing against each other, like the familiar roar of a death knell, terrifying. And this is just the tip of the iceberg of the lives that Rollins has slaughtered. After more than 200 years of bloody rule, 9 out of 10 houses in his country were deserted. He used alchemy to extract life energy from all of them for cultivation. Even so, the method he used to extract it was extremely crude. A living human life can only obtain a tiny amount of usable energy. But to the selfish, cold-hearted, and cruel Rollins, it was just a trivial matter not worth mentioning. Chapter 181 Special Instance Room, Pure Land of Bliss. In recent days, the industrial chain of Su Lin's family has been upgraded. First, the Titan Assistance System and the Alien Energy Converter were successfully integrated under the control of the Red Queen. There are many thunder monsters responsible for supplying energy, ensuring both the magnetic and electric barriers and household expenses. The Titan Assist System's feature of ecological control also greatly improves the ecological environment at home. The quality of poultry such as flametail chicken and pot-lid chicken was also upgraded to D-grade. Although all members of Su Lin's family are at B level, the spiritual power provided is far less than that of elixirs. But the advantage is that the meat tastes excellent, and the magic rice, magic plants, magic fish, etc. are indispensable for 3 meals a day, and the strength is increasing every day. The second is Home Defense Force. Sword Dance's strength level has been raised to the top of C+ level. However, she is a puppet and still lacks some materials. If Ellie can upgrade her Sword Dance to B level by herself, her dexterity talent will also be upgraded. The other 8 bronze puppets, 3 spearmen, 3 archers, and 2 shield soldiers, all reach the top level of C grade. Just leave everything to Jianwu to control. After all, she has the skills to command puppets, and they can play a good role in cooperation in combat. For example, the sets of tools. The inspection gauze lantern and the inspection mirror have been successfully researched by the Red Queen. Produced in large quantities, the patrol range of the fog outside the home is wider. The Red Queen also incorporated the characteristics of the patrol mirror into the communicator, so that every family member has one, which is extremely convenient. What's more, there are many undead bats, undead spider monsters, and undead creatures that Su Lin has transformed during this period of time, serving as security forces for their homeland. For fog enemies below level B, There is no need for family members to take action personally. The younger brothers on the outer defense line can easily solve them. All the spider eggs that were obtained from Albert's house have hatched. There are more than 100 of them. Those that were hatched earlier and have good talents have reached level D in strength. Su Lin-shun led him to use the Book of the Dead, which gave him a spiritual seal and activated his spirituality in advance. Just like the spider demon's strength level breaks through to sea level, it may even transform into a being like Drachen. I don't know if they will be able to train a large army of spider monsters in the future. Thinking about it, I'm quite looking forward to it. This scene of all things competing, thriving, and full of vitality is right before our eyes. The entire home can almost be called a small territory. Then, just take a look at the 4 new random rooms refreshed today. Random room number 1, Poison Jungle. This is a jungle that breeds all kinds of deadly poisons and is full of poisons D level C+ level. Random room number 2, Mechanical Ruins. Ancient ruins containing mechanical techniques, the treasures lost are proportional to the dangers hidden in the mechanisms. Hint, there are 3 special items hidden in the ruins of the mechanism, which are of great use to improve the forging skills. Random room number 3, Long Night Cemetery. A cemetery suitable for the dead to rest in peace, once used as a pasture by a necromancer. Entering this scene, you will face attacks from hundreds of undead creatures, D level C+ level. Random room number 4, Dangerous Scene, Pure Land of Bliss. A mysterious island, surrounded by the sea, hidden in the rolling waves. Entering this place requires facing countless powerful monsters and facing a life and death test. The island treasures an epic elixir. Finding it will give you a chance to change your life. Hint 1, there are all kinds of monsters on the island and their strength levels vary. From E to B, the closer to the center of the island, the stronger the monsters. Hint 2, Special Dungeon Room. It is likely to be open to the majority of players, which means that many players will participate in the island treasure hunt. Hint 3, since the random room Pure Land has a large area, once the player enters, they can use the teleport mark to teleport back home. Transfer mark, it can be used at any time 3 hours after entering Pure Land of Bliss. The activation time is 30 seconds, and it cannot be disturbed during this period. Otherwise, it will need to cool down for another 3 hours before it can be used. Tip 4, players who enter the random room of Pure Land can choose to keep the room and continue exploring. The duration can be extended to up to 3 days. Hint 5, defeat the boss Island Immortal, B level, to obtain the epic elixir refined by the Island Immortal. The 4 random rooms refreshed this time are quite interesting. The ruins of the mechanism in room 2 alone, and the fact that they could help with forging, were enough to arouse Su Lin's interest. Especially room 4, the Pure Land of Bliss. When I first heard the name, I thought it was a song sung by that bad girl who could sing and dance. A mixture of dragons and snakes, an epic elixir. Su Lin extracted the keywords, his eyes flashing slightly. Judging from the hidden description of the cheat code, the characteristics of this elixir should be significant. The phrase, changing life opportunities, gave Su Lin the illusion that it was a panacea. Considering that there are immortals on the island, it's not an exaggeration to call it a magic pill, right? But if you think about it carefully, something doesn't seem right. Whose immortal strength level is only B level. Even though he is stronger than Su Lin at the moment, the title of immortal shouldn't be so cheap, right? Presumably, this should be the system's name for the island boss. Or maybe it was the title that the boss shamelessly gave himself. It is also a special copy room. Many players will refresh and have the possibility to participate. Interesting. Su Lin didn't take this seriously. After all, with his strength, he is not only the leader among the marriage game players. It can also be described as the world's best style of, if you have the guts to provoke me, I will kill you in minutes. The old rules, from easy to difficult, 3 shallow and 1 deep, step by step. Let's go to room 1 first, the poisonous jungle. I took the little thunder beast Zai Lei, who has been bored recently and fell into self-doubt after comparing himself with the other girls in the family. He has been rubbing his body for no reason and building up his muscles. And recently he has had strange eyes, always staring with bad intentions, at Su Lin, who was secretly watching Jian Wu and her 8 bronze puppet brothers. Out of caution, I asked Sophia for a lot of detoxification pills in advance. Su Lin's PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, was acquired after the last alien parasite invasion. Even if it was a random room that didn't seem dangerous in any way, he would prepare in advance. By the way, ever since the Red Queen came to her home, this kind of automatic calculation by artificial intelligence has made Sophia very happy. His interest in teaming up with Su Lin for adventures was greatly reduced. He focused all his energy on the research of elixirs and was deeply immersed in the great cause of alchemy. P.S. I originally wanted to do a big thing and write a new book in which the protagonist is Godzilla, who lands on an island country to destroy the Japanese devils, so that everyone can have a great time. But in the process of practice, I encountered a small problem. I overestimated my typing speed. I can spend half a day writing 4,000 words a day, so it is too difficult for me, Fat Tiger, to open 2 accounts at the same time. Don't die suddenly because of double opening again. That's not good. But hey, I'm also a real fun-loving person. Naturally, there will be no shortage of things we promise to do for everyone. Therefore, concentrate on this book, and then go to the random room of Pure Land to give the Japanese a good beating. Chapter 182, Shocked Hulk Hogan, Who Is So Unbelievable. The deep green reflects psychedelic colors under the refraction of sunlight. The vegetation everywhere is growing vigorously under the gradually thickening shadows, competing with each other for beauty. Many of these plants contain toxins. Branches, leaves, fruits, petals, and even roots and stems may contain deadly toxins. Thick fog diffused from the forest, like a mysterious veil swaying in the breeze, enveloping everything in the forest. Random room number 1, Jungle Poison King. Su Lin, Purple Thunder, Sword Dance. Step in. A pungent smell filled the air, making it difficult to breathe. The extremely eye-catching colors around it seemed to be determined to deter any intruders. After Su Lin and Zai Lei swallowed a detoxification pill, this slight discomfort disappeared. As for Jianwu, she is a puppet with innate characteristics. As long as the poison is not too outrageous, it is not a problem for her at all. Occasionally, the low chirping of insects and the cries of animals could be heard in the woods. Overall, the poison level in this jungle is not too high. Of course, this is relative to a B-level strongman like Su Lin. If it were any other player, this would also be an extremely dangerous scene. Speed is of the essence in war. Without wasting time, Su Lin directly activated the Wushwang mode. It was like there were 6 shadow blades with full attack speed, ready to harvest any poisonous creatures encountered along the way. Purple thunder swept through the jungle like a ball of lightning, and bright flashes of lightning flashed around her. Whenever a sharp spark flashed in her eyes, poison would inevitably dissipate under her claws. Jianwu controlled 8 bronze puppets to form a formation and cooperate with each other tacitly. Her nimble body waved in the shadows of the jungle like a graceful dancer, and with her sword and armor, the poisonous creatures had nowhere to hide. Every leap and fall was accompanied by the dissipation of the poison. The corpses of all the poisonous creatures killed were sent to Su Lin, who transformed them into seeds of life. During this period, many spiritual plants were discovered, as well as several rare plants with poisonous properties. There is probably no need to say much about Su Lin's style. The wind leaves traces when it passes, and the passing geese pluck feathers. Netizens once joked, even if a feces suction truck passed by, God Su would stop it to taste the saltiness. Su Lin would naturally not let go of anything that had the slightest useful value, and would take it all away. Zai Lei couldn't help but complain. I say the only 2 C+ level poisonous creatures in this jungle have been killed. There is no more money left. How about we retreat? If you don't manage the household, you don't know how expensive firewood and rice are. Based on the principle that no matter how small a mosquito is, it is still meat. Su Lin severely reprimanded the little thunder beast for its shameful, wasteful behavior. After searching again, and using the cheat code to confirm that there was really nothing there, he returned home with a lot of loot. Go to the alchemy room first, and give the seed of life transformed from the poison to Sophia. Then he found Mirabelle in the spiritual plant field, and gave her the various spiritual plants he had collected to take care of. This dazzling array of spoils did give Mirabelle a small shock. She looked at Su Lin with her beautiful eyes, and had a lot to complain about. You are already B-level. Why don't you let go of even the low-level 1-star spiritual plants of E-level? Mirabelle was in a state of confusion. Just as Su Lin was regrouping and beating the drum, preparing to play random room number 2, Mechanism Ruins. The random room in the poisonous jungle. But another player arrived. This is such a great place. Hulk Hogan, who is tall and strong, laughed happily. Thick poisonous gas filled the air, and the surrounding air almost solidified. This is a perfect place for Hulk Hogan, who has already merged his immune body with the thorny body to become the poisonous thorn body. The poisonous elemental magic in his body seemed to be charged, spinning and surging constantly strengthening his own strength. His partner, the thorn demon Sarona, also felt extremely comfortable with the jungle environment and was equally ecstatic. But in a flash, Sarona frowned. "I'm here and I sense several powerful auras. There might be danger, so be careful." Hearing this, Hulk Hogan nodded. Although he is rough and has some crazy characteristics, but he is definitely not a reckless and impulsive young man. If we really encounter danger that we cannot overcome, we will naturally retreat. U.S. Live Broadcast Room. It is still in a state of polarization. Hulk Hogan's redneck fellows naturally strongly support him and regard him as a hero in the redneck group. As the saying goes, one person's hero is my enemy. Hulk Hogan always diss other classes and groups in the United States who did not receive the civilized marriage rewards. The hatred for him was palpable. Therefore, in the live broadcast rooms of the United States, this kind of civil strife phenomenon can often be seen, which is no less than the gender confrontation problem in the child country of South Korea. In the picture, Hulk Hogan and the thorn demon Sarona explored the toxic jungle cautiously and carefully. However, as the exploration continued, they gradually discovered something was wrong. There is not a single spiritual plant in such a large jungle. How come I didn't see even one monster? It's really weird. I remember now. This random room was just explored by Su Lin from Yan Country not long ago. In the U.S. Live Broadcast Room, someone gave a scientific explanation. Afterwards, they thoughtfully sent the recorded live video to the U.S. Live Broadcast channel. When the Americans saw Su Lin's aggressive posture, they were stunned for a moment. How come this guy's passion for oil is even crazier than ours, Americans? But more of it was a wanton mockery of Hulk Hogan. "Haha, I didn't expect that you, the root of trouble, would have such a day. You don't even have the qualifications to pick up other people's leftovers. This is a case of a small troublemaker meeting a big troublemaker. Tusk, 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 it's really pitiful. Don't be complacent, you Anglo-Saxon white pigs. Although we, Little Hook, didn't gain anything, we didn't lose anything either. Look how excited you are. It's a pity that the bastard Eugen didn't come in half an hour earlier. Otherwise, if he really ran into Su Lin from Yan Country, he would be in big trouble tilde. I guess you rednecks are secretly happy about this." The disgust towards Hulk Hogan by all classes of people in the United States even exceeds their hatred towards the Yan Country. Some Yan people who had just entered the U.S. Live Broadcast Room were a little confused. Judging from the content of your chat, someone who doesn't know would think that you Americans are good friends of our Yan Country. This is the first time I see you guys turning your elbows outwards. At this time, in the poisonous jungle, Hookbane and Sarona discovered traces of a battle. After analysis, I finally realized that a player had visited this place not long ago. For a moment, the two couldn't help but fall into self-doubt. Who on earth is so incredible? In such a large jungle, not even a decent hair was spared, except for some E-level spiritual plants of little value and some low-level poisons. All the good things that are of any use are gone. The only thing to be thankful for is that there is plenty of poison gas in this jungle, which makes it a perfect place for Hulk Hogan to practice. Chapter 183. Chapter 183, Forging Table Upgrade, Long Night Cemetery. I forgot to add a title, and then found out that I couldn't change the title of the VIP chapter. I was speechless. What? Random room number 2, Mechanical Ruins. Just as the name suggests, the room seen here is a destroyed and dilapidated ruin. Long ago, perhaps it was once a magnificent mechanical fortress. The stone walls had been worn away by the years and turned to sand. The stone-pillared temple lies exposed like a skeleton in the empty ruins, and its tilted angle reveals the vicissitudes of history. Those trap arrow towers used for defense are now just silently guarding this empty castle. It's a shabby place, so I guess there's nothing good there. Zai Lei curled his lips and glanced at Su Lin, fearing that this guy would go into junk-picking mode again and move all the ruins back home. This is a huge project, and it will probably be exhausting. Fortunately, Su Lin is not yet so cruel as to be so crazy. He called out to Zai Lei and Jian Wu. Then he spread his wings of light and flew into the air, following the prompts that kept appearing on the golden finger to search for treasures in the ruins of the mechanism. The level of this random room is probably C+. Although there are still some remaining mechanisms, Many of them are still functioning and are ingeniously designed. If you are not careful, it will pose a fatal threat to the C-level strength. But for Su Lin, who is at B level, there is no need to bother to crack it. He can just push it forward directly. Boom, 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 tilde, tilde, tilde. Attack after attack, violently destroying the buildings that hinder the exploration of treasures. A faint light flickered in the ruins. Su Lin took it and looked at it, and the information suddenly appeared before his eyes. Name, Refining Guide. Type, Special Props. Rating, Epic. Quality, Purple Inferior. Features, this is an ancient manual that records the steps and methods of epic level, refining equipment. At the same time, hidden information also appeared. Special props for the ruins of the mechanism, 1-3. The forging encyclopedia that Ellie is using now is only of rare grade and is now outdated. This equipment refining guide is just right for Tutu to refer to. Amid a barrage of attacks, Su Lin quickly collected the other two special items. Mysterious Fusion Stone can improve the quality of the forging table, making it capable of unlocking more powerful equipment forging. Forging Accelerator. The extracted source of spiritual power can effectively shorten the forging time. It can be used to upgrade and improve the forging table. After searching again, I was sure that not a single drop of oil could be squeezed out. Su Lin immediately returned home. For you, Su Lin spoke briefly and handed the guide to refining equipment to Ellie. The next step is to upgrade the forging table at home. With Ellie's long-term use and optimization, the forging table, which was once only of white quality, has been upgraded to a rare and superior blue one. It was also DIY'd by Ellie herself, with unique carvings and fine craftsmanship, showing her excellent quality. The bunny pattern carved by myself is very cute and girly. Now, Su Lin first took out the mysterious fusion stone. The texture on it is like the veins of life, glowing and lively. With a wave of his hand, the fusion stone released a dazzling light. The beam of light condensed into a stream of air in the air and was injected into the forging table. The system prompt sounded, "The quality of your forging table has been upgraded to the lower epic level." Su Lin took out the forging acceleration device without any delay. It radiates a faint spiritual energy, which is the weak spiritual energy remaining inside the device. Su Lin followed the installation method described in the prompts and carefully attached it to the inside of the forging table. After some effort and just completing the installation, Su Lin was suddenly stunned. Why should I do this kind of work myself? I obviously have a clever and talented blacksmithing little rabbit at home. Why didn't I let Tutu come just now? At the moment when Su Lin fell into mental exhaustion, the combination of the forging accelerator and the forging table produces a magical and pleasing rhythm. Ellie, who had been watching the whole process, had a look of surprise in her beautiful eyes. Name, Forging Table. Type, Facility. Rating, Epic. Quality, Purple Inferior. Features, 1. Forging. Can be used to make equipment facilities within the B-level range. 2. Accelerator. Shorten the time required for forging tools. 3. Ellie's specialized forging table. Used by Ellie, increases forging success rate by 45%. Ellie specialization. This feature is tailor-made for Ellie. The little rabbit was so happy that his eyes curved into crescents, twinkling like stars, making people intoxicated. The blush on her cheeks was like the soft light of morning light, gently shining on Su Lin's heart. Very good. Ellie jumped happily and jumped directly onto Su Lin. She hung her arms around Su Lin's neck and pecked him on the face, looking at the two of them being so affectionate with each other. Jianwu's eyes flickered with a hint of envy. Zai Lei opened the bedroom door and made a please gesture like a greeter. What are you doing? Su Lin glanced at Zai Lei. I'll help you open the battlefield portal. Zai Lei shrugged. It's broad daylight and you two have to hide it from others. These words made Ellie feel a little embarrassed, and she buried her head in Su Lin's arms with a blushing face. After Su Lin gave Zai Lei a beating, he also reminded Ellie, you don't have to work too hard every day. You are still pregnant, and taking good care of your body is the most important thing. I know I'm not a child tilde. Although her tone was filled with anger, Ellie was still happy in her heart. After your strength level breaks through B level, and you don't participate in battles, but just do daily refining, it is extremely difficult for an accident to happen. What's more, she has been taking the pregnancy-protecting and health-preserving elixirs made by Sophia recently, which has ensured the safety of the fetus. Are you still booking a room? After Zai Lei finished speaking, fearing that Su Lin might misunderstand his meaning, mainly because he was afraid of being beaten, he immediately added, I mean, are you still going to book a random room? If not, I'll prepare the meal. Since transforming into a human form, the greedy little telegraph machine has become fascinated with cooking. Surprisingly, Telegraph, who has never been good with his mouth, has a great talent for cooking. Also unlocked a talent called Spiritual Food Chef, Primary. Now, in addition to being Su Lin's professional thug, she is also the little cook at home. It's not even dinner time yet, and you're just thinking about eating. Su Lin suddenly found it funny. He looked towards the random room and continued, "Keep going." What? Random room number 3, Long Night Cemetery. This is a silent and condensed scene. Once the ranch of a necromancer. No matter how sunny the weather is outside, or how the seasons change, it's cold and gloomy here, as if it's eternal night. When you enter this place, the first thing that catches your eye is a group of straight and neat tombstones. It is carved from stone, and engraved with the names of the souls who lost their lives and their deeds during their lifetime. Whether day or night, they seem to attract all the light around them, shrouding the entire cemetery in a clean and depressing silence. In the center of these tombstones is an extremely large stone tablet, carved with the totem of a one-eyed skull, which is the symbol of the necromancer who once lived here. Such a depressing atmosphere is very much like a scene from a horror movie. This made many Yan people who were watching Su Lin's live broadcast very nervous. Chapter 184. Kneel down. Subdue the 300 skeleton soldiers. This place is isolated from the worldly troubles. Only the wind brings a sad rustling sound. Maybe occasionally you can hear a lost crow perched on an empty branch, making a shrill cry. The air was filled with a damp feeling and an indescribable chill. With the arrival of Su Lin and the other two, this dead silence was broken. Swish, a swish, a swish. Click tilde, click tilde tilde. The rustling sound of the soil turning, combined with the crackling sound of bones grinding against each other, was like the silence of the underground being broken by the whispers of the devil, and the long night cemetery began to move. The ground began to shake, then shatter and surge up like waves. One by one, undead creatures' skeletons crawled out of the graves and out of the ground, sending chills down people's spines. The skeletons were completely black, with green flames burning in their eye sockets. Like ghosts, the harsh sound of the friction between bones collided and sounded like the devil's laughter, exploding in the ears. At this time, the hundreds of millions of Yan people who watched the live broadcast seemed to be in the same situation through the screen. It brings out the chilling fear of this realistic scene. However, look at the piles of skeletons appearing. Su Lin's eyes lit up. Because these undead creatures are already made servants, you can directly use the Book of the Dead to convert them into your own slaves. I'll do it. Zai Lei was just about to attack them with a thunderous attack, but was stopped in time by Su Lin. You take a rest, let me do it. Su Lin took a step forward and took out the remaining pages of the Book of the Dead from his storage bracelet. But we must not let the carelessness of the little telegraph machine harm all our servants. The Book of the Dead, which is a fusion of 2 fragments, glows with mysterious brilliance under Su Lin's control. His fingers gently slid across the densely packed ancient runes on it. Looking down at it, Su Lin silently recited an obscure spell. Every syllable, every word, seems to have magic. The runes flickered in the dim light. As Su Lin whispered, inexplicable invisible waves spread to the entire Long Night Cemetery with Su Lin as the center. Amidst the ripples, the originally terrifying undead creatures were drawn by the spell, as if at this moment they fell into some kind of deep hypnosis. The green flames in the skeleton's eye sockets gradually developed an imperceptible mark. Engrave Su Lin's mark on all of them. What's more, the original owner of the cemetery, the necromancer, is nowhere to be found. As a result, this group of undead creatures without the control of their master all acted on instinct. Under the power of the Book of the Dead, every move Su Lin made silently revealed an aura of tyranny and dominance. Even if the necromancer was still alive, he would probably lose control of the undead creatures under his command. Until the vibrations of the Book of the Dead covered the entire cemetery, and a black magic circle visible to the naked eye was formed instantly. Looking down from the sky, it contrasts with the stone tombstones, forming a complete magic circle that lingers in the cemetery. Su Lin's tone gradually became louder. Such power enveloped the night and swallowed up the entire cemetery. Kneel down. When the time came, Su Lin suddenly spoke. In an instant, the ferocious skeletons that were about to attack stopped. Then they all knelt down before Su Lin. These were just D-level skeletons, They were effortlessly marked with the mark of undead and became Su Lin's servants. There were still some sea-level skeletons with good strength. Like beasts trapped in a swamp, they launched a fierce resistance against the unfamiliar control. But it was all in vain, and all the effort was in vain. "Kneel down." Su Lin raised his voice and clenched the Book of the Dead in his hand. His voice sounded like the cold god of the underworld, and his tone was arbitrary. Crack tilde tilde. First, the sea-level skeleton knelt down in the direction of Su Lin, and the ghost fire in its eye sockets was also marked with Su Lin's mark. Next came the C-class, whose struggles and resistance began to weaken. Then C-plus grade. In the entire Long Night Cemetery, hundreds of skeletons were all submitting to Su Lin, transformed into the undead army under Su Lin's command. Zai Lei, who was standing aside, was stunned, his eyes full of shock. Jian Wu stared at Su Lin, admiring him. At the same time, he was also delighted and submissive to the way Su Lin had just taken control of the situation and was full of admiration. For others, coming here means a fierce battle. But to Su Lin, the Long Night Cemetery is more like a huge treasure. It's like giving him free benefits. At the same time, the hundreds of millions of viewers in the live broadcast room were stunned. Various emotions changed on their faces. The Book of the Dead, how could I have forgotten this sacred object? In fact, I thought of the Book of the Dead from the beginning, but what I expected was that Su Shen would at least have to fight them first, and then use the Book of the Dead to subdue them when they were exhausted. It's different. If it were any other living creature, they would have to fight, but for skeletons, which are already undead, this step can be omitted. To use a cooking analogy, it's like the difference between a chef cooking a dish himself and a meal package, which only needs to be heated in the microwave for a few minutes before it's ready. There are more strange metaphors. For someone like me who eats takeout all year round, your metaphor hurts me invisibly. The shock that Su Lin brought to the people of Yan was obvious. All the emotions mixed together to form an atmosphere that is difficult to describe. In any case, Su Shenyu beer is finished. They all cheered for Su Lin and called him Big Brother 666. Just 2 fragments of pages, yet they possess such power. Staring at the hundreds of skeleton soldiers in front of him who were bowing their heads and kneeling like they were meeting the gods, Su Lin muttered to himself, "If I can collect all 10 pages in the future, even A-level horrors will obey my orders like slaves. By then, I guess I can sweep away everything." No, that's not right. As soon as the feeling of pride emerged, it was suppressed in time by Su Lin. He suddenly remembered Red Flame, SSS-level legendary item. It happened once during the elimination of the worst players. This proves that a level is not the end. There are S-level, SS-level, and SSS-level above it. If we go any further, Su Lin will be unpredictable. I'm afraid he can only be described as God. I counted the number of skeleton soldiers and found that there were a little over 300 of them. There are 5 C-plus grades. There are 15 in Class C, C-level 30. The rest are hovering around D-level strength. There is not a single E-level 1. After all, the Long Night Cemetery was established a long time ago, and it has been in absolute peace since the necromancer left. As time goes by, the E-level skeletons are probably lost in the long river of time. And when Su Lin led a legion of about 300 skeleton soldiers, they walked through the door in an orderly formation and returned home. It brought great shock to Sophia, Ellie, and Mirabelle. You massacred an entire village." The 3 girls took a deep breath and murmured, Chapter 185, The Pure Land is not the pure land, nor is it the pure land. After explaining the reasons, the 3 women all expressed their admiration for Su Lin's good fortune. Originally, Su Lin was planning to directly open random room number 4, Pure Land of Bliss. But Zai Lei kept making a fuss, saying that it was time for dinner and he had to eat. Seeing that no player had entered room 4 yet, Su Lin simply agreed. Zai Lei first ran to the warehouse and carefully selected the ingredients. Then I went to the kitchen and worked hard. She really likes cooking and enjoys it. Su Lin specifically asked her to prepare more dry food that is easy to preserve. After all, Pure Land of Bliss is a special copy room. The island is probably very large, otherwise the system would not have to be extended for 3 days. Mirabelle was keenly aware of such details. But I also understand the rules of the matchmaking game and know that it is being broadcast live. So that's it. She took Su Lin back to the bedroom and also called Ellie and Sophia. Yan Country player Su Lin is holding a wedding ceremony. The following scene is not suitable for playback and the system automatically blocks it. The live broadcast screen suddenly went black. The Yan people had long been accustomed to Su Lin's style of doing things and smiled knowingly. Or they took a break when the live broadcast was closed, or watched the live broadcasts of players from other countries. You are in battle. The blessings and destiny feature of the rare item Yin-Yang Pisces is triggered, and your various skills gain double experience and speed up. You are in battle. Your partner Milabel gains double skill experience acceleration. You, Fukuzawa Love, Ellie gains double skill experience acceleration. Battle, Sophia, speed up. During the battle, Su Lin also took the opportunity to talk about the situation in the Pure Land copy room. Upon hearing that the dungeon boss was a B-level entity, the three girls were a little worried. How about I go with you? Mirabelle spoke softly, her eyes concerned. Her slender fingers tapped on the quilt, revealing her deep inner anxiety. Soon after he opened his mouth, he let out a long cry. She collapsed on Su Lin's left side, leaning on his shoulder, with the tips of her hair spreading across his chest like mist. He also patted Sophia on the shoulder, signaling for a substitution to fill the vacancy. Su Lin lifted up Zyro Feifei's Lu Jai foot. Soon, Zyro Feifei flew to the top of the clouds. In response to Mirabelle's worries, Su Lin shook his head slightly. Although the little flower fairy has given birth, she is currently in excellent condition. But the child has just been born after all, and even if it is in the fruit form of the fairy flower, it still needs Mirabelle to take care of it as a mother. What's more, Tutu is pregnant. If during this period, our homeland is attacked by enemies in the fog, it would be bad if we lack the military force to take charge. As the saying goes, once bitten by a snake, one will be afraid of ropes for 10 years. Although the probability is very small, Su Lin doesn't want to take the chance. In recent days, our home has actually been attacked by foggy enemies several times. The strength level is generally D level, but there have been a few C level enemies. Su Lin was mainly worried that the unbridled marriage game mechanism would make it more difficult for enemies to attack him in the fog as his strength increased. The magnetic and electric barriers controlled by the Red Queen herself, as well as the undead guards of the home defense line, are enough to easily deal with Class C. I was afraid that a level B enemy would suddenly appear and attack while Su Lin was away. Once you enter the Pure Land, you can teleport back anytime. Mirabelle pinched Su Lin's grapes in dissatisfaction. This action almost caused a flood. Taking a deep breath, Su Lin successfully built the dam. It's different. In the random room, the Red Queen's communicator lost its signal, and she couldn't keep in touch with her homeland at all times. Besides, the teleportation mark has a 30-second uninterruptible setting, so there are too many variables. It is better to be safe than sorry. Mirabelle also understood this principle, but she was a little bored recently and wanted to go on an adventure with Su Lin. In this regard, Su Lin had no choice but to agree. After the Pure Land of Bliss copy room was over, he would take the girls to Fisherman's Dream to play for a while. The last time I went fishing in this random room, I still had an unused dream invitation. You can replace a random room with Fisherman's Dream at any time. Then let Sophia go with you. At this time, Ellie suggested. After all, Zyro Feifei is also a B-level strongman. He is also proficient in various light magic. Even though his combat power cannot be compared with Su Lin, he is a qualified assistant. Besides, the only thing missing is that Sophia isn't pregnant yet, so just think of it as you two going on a honeymoon. I approve. Ellie's words really touched Sophia's heart. She has always wanted a child. It's time to eat. Outside the door, Zylei's voice suddenly rang out. She brought plates of delicious, freshly cooked dishes to the dining table. I heard the sound of fierce fighting in the bedroom again. 2 blushes appeared on her cheeks. The situation is tight in front, so you guys are tight in the back, right? Also, little puppet Jianwu, stop eavesdropping and come and try the elemental stone cuisine I specially prepared for you. It is definitely suitable for your puppet physique. The meal is over. Sophia went back to the alchemy room and prepared the elixir. That's right, it's a random room in the Pure Land of Bliss. And Su Lin decided to bring Zyro Feifei with him to form a team for the adventure. While waiting, Su Lin took the time to look at the situation in room 4 and discovered that 3 players had already entered. We're ready, let's go. Soon, Sophia came out with some bottles and jars, handed them to Su Lin, and put them into the storage bracelet. However, just as Su Lin took the lead and was about to step into the silver door, suddenly, I discovered that the number of players inside the Pure Land of Bliss has become 2. See the hidden hints. It wasn't that a player quit midway, but that he met with an accident and died. It seems that this island called the Pure Land is not as paradise as the name describes. Su Lin said secretly, for other players whose strength is too low, death is also expected. At the same time, in the real world, the global broadcast of the matchmaking game suddenly sounded. In view of the death of the player, Yanzier, from the Yini country, targeted punishment is now being imposed on the civilization of that country. The punishment item is Piranha Crisis. Location, the entire territory of Yini country. Description, 1 million piranhas will be randomly planted in the land of Yindi. That's right, the unlucky guy who entered the Pure Land, but died tragically just a few minutes later, was the player from Yini country. Since the death of Lin Dajai, 2 more players in Yini country have died tragically, bringing 2 disasters to Yini. Yankier was relatively cautious, but unfortunately he was unlucky. He and his partner, the 2-headed monkey, were devoured by several giant carnivorous plants as soon as they entered the Pure Land. This time, the Piranha Plant Crisis has brought more good news to the troubled Yindi. Chapter 186, Demonic Pollution, Degraded Monsters. Wow tilde, followed by a burst of strong light. Su Lin, Sophia, Zai and Jian Wu. The vision of the 4 suddenly changed. In addition, there are 300 newly conquered skeleton soldiers. All of them are dispatched. Random room number 4, Pure Land of Bliss, special dungeon room. The island is surrounded by the sea, and the neon-like sea water illuminates the earth, sparkling and enchanting. The 4 of them were on a golden beach, stepping on the fine sand and feeling its subtle texture and temperature. The breeze carries the faint, salty smell of the sea, brushing across the skin, making people feel extremely comfortable. The tropical rainforest ahead is as beautiful as a fairyland, with colorful flowers and plants, and towering ancient trees that block out the sun. It is a beautiful scene where everything is flourishing and full of vitality. If it weren't for the fish crawling out of the sea with 2 heads and 4 legs on the coast, I would have thought it was a resort. Name, Polluted Monster Fish. Strength level D. Psychic power 250. Hint, a degraded monster that has mutated due to the influence of the island fairy. Zai exclaimed, "Eh," and said with disdain, "This fish looks really ugly, like the product of an incestuous marriage. Close relatives are not that exaggerated." After Su Lin said this, he killed the 2-headed monster fish casually, and then used the restraining shackles to pull the body of the monster fish to his front for inspection. For some reason, the faint demon energy contained in this strange fish gave him a familiar feeling. It seems like I've seen it somewhere before, but I can't remember where. Just as Su Lin was recalling, Zai Lei's exclamation interrupted his thoughts. "There is a silver mark on my wrist. This is a teleportation mark." Su Lin explained the reason to her, then knocked on Zai Lei's head, blaming her for being so startled. Just a few moments of simple tinkering. Su Lin ordered the skeleton army to advance into the tropical rain forest. He also asked Zai Lei to fly high into the sky to act as a scout and be responsible for observing the surrounding vision. In the Thunder Beast form, she has the ability to step on thunder and walk in the air. After breaking through the B level and transforming into a human form, flying in the air became as easy for Zai Lei as eating and drinking. Su Lin originally wanted to use the heart ring to separate a secondary ring and give it to Zai Lei so that they could keep in touch at any time. But they were pleasantly surprised to find that the communicators of the 4 people in the same random room also had signals. It must be because the Red Queen upgraded the communicator last night. But I saved myself a secondary ring. Something like the concentric ring, the main ring can be divided into many secondary rings, but it has a special meaning in Su Lin's family. Even though he had actual interaction with Xiao Zile, it was only for cultivation. As for when to give it to her, it depends on this guy's performance. At least get rid of the bad breath habit first. This is a dense tropical rainforest that stretches endlessly. The tall trees are like pillars rising from the ground. At first glance, their green leaves form a natural umbrella, blocking the sunlight overhead. 300 skeleton soldiers formed a mighty battle formation. The noise caused by the friction of bones even blocked out the calls of various birds and animals coming from the nearby rainforest. Among them, there were some degraded monsters that launched attacks. The strength levels vary, ranging from E to D. However, he didn't even see Su Lin's face before he was easily hacked to death by the skeleton soldiers under his command. As you go deeper, the level of monsters you encounter will increase. Name, Degraded Demonic Bear. Strength level C. Psychic power 1385. This is a giant bear that is 5 or 6 meters tall, covered with thick black scales. His eyes emitted a faint red light, which was terrifying. Roar! The degraded demon bear seemed to have lost its mind. It didn't care how large the lineup on Su Lin's side was and rushed forward like crazy. Several D-level skeleton soldiers who were responsible for exploring the way ahead were smashed to pieces by it with one slap. Two C-level skeleton swordsmen rushed forward and fought back and forth with the degraded demon bear. After showing off for less than a minute, the degraded demon bear was shot through the head by a C-class skeleton archer and died instantly. As it fell, a cloud of dust was splashed. Su Lin, who heard the noise, came over and used the flower language technique to transform the degraded demon bear's corpse into a seed of life. Unlike the seeds of life transformed from other flesh and blood creatures, this seed of life, which is also round and as emerald-colored, has a black line inside its body. It's like a flaw on jade, and it's extremely disgusting to look at, because it is infected by the devil's energy. Even if it is transformed into a seed of life, it cannot eliminate this characteristic. Su Lin looked at it carefully and frowned slightly. This kind of demonic energy has been tightly integrated with the demon bear and has become a part of its body. Although the transformed life seeds can still be used, they will cause a deterioration effect. If it is used to cultivate spiritual plants, if used too many times, it may cause unpredictable alienation to the spiritual plants. If used to refine pills, the evil spirit will also affect the effectiveness of the pills. If taken too often, not only will it affect your sanity, but your entire person may become alienated. Think about the two-headed fish I encountered on the beach just now. It would be chilling if it really became like that. Let me see if I can use some light magic to purify it. Sophia took the seed of life from Su Lin's hand, and golden light flashed in her palm.